What's the biggest misconception about the occult?
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of like something that I've even been saying on a lot of shows and even some of my posts. It's not all dicks and demons. Everybody seems to think it's always something involving somebody getting fucked in the ass and something satanic. It's not at all. That is not actually, when it comes to ceremonial magic, that is not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to have a magical, to have an experience with God, actually, and to be enlightened. All that other shit, that's people doing it wrong or taking it their own way. That's probably about 90% of Instagram and TikTok witches. That's another thing. The ass doing the fucked up shit is like literally the smallest percentage of people that are into this.
The SpeakInCOAD Podcast. And now introducing COAD, Conspiracy of a Dead Man.
Over 100 people dead.
Chante, the homie. Servant with a noble cause. And Teddy Bear Dynamite. These are the hosts of the SpeakInCOAD Podcast.
Hey, let's get this party started.
Hey guys, this is COAD, Conspiracy of a Dead Man from the SpeakInCOAD Podcast. I am sitting here with the one and only Nick from Occult Rejects. Thank you, dude, so much for coming on, man. I've talked with them many times, but this time it's like a one-on-one conversation. I get to learn something today. So thank you so much, dude, for coming on, man. I really appreciate it and appreciate your time and stuff. And I feel like you're the guru that's like on everybody's shows, or like you don't care if people are big or small on shows.
No, I don't give a shit. If somebody actually wants to listen to me, I'm totally fine with coming on.
What's in your cup? Power!
Because you know what? I started out the same way. And I remember thinking that it was actually pretty shitty that just because someone's popular, they won't go on a small show.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I wouldn't even do that myself.
Thanks, man. I honestly, dude, I appreciate it so much. And I've been checking out your stuff more and more. And it's like, it's a breath of fresh air. And it's like, I saw you on with Rabbit and Trinity is True.
Fun. That was
dude, that was such a good episode. There were so many things that I was like, oh, I have questions.
Yo, we probably could have talked for hours and hours, actually.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I got so many questions and stuff too. But yeah, I mean, we could plug your stuff if you want first, or I could come back and add it later.
Yeah, sure. The Occult Rejects. I got BitChute, Rumble, YouTube. Rumble and YouTube's probably the more active thing. BitChute, but now I haven't posted in a while, but now hearing that I could send YouTube over there, I might start sending it over. Yeah, I got those, and then all major podcasts, and I'm on all social media. If you need to get in touch with me for bookings or anything, that would be Instagram and Twitter would probably be the best. I really don't use TikTok. But yeah, I got all that. I do have Occult Research Institute. That's a kind of a website. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there that you could read if you want.
Cool.
I do have a Substack now if people want to check that out. There's a lot of free shit on there, but it's also there's an option to pay $5 a month and you'll get extra stuff on there. But that, I mean, honestly, you got to be really into reading. Even though I might start putting a lot of times I will put the actual notes of episodes up early. I was thinking about for the paid people, I might even start throwing the audio because you can actually throw audio up on Substack. So
cool.
Yeah, check that out.
Nice, man. That's awesome. And I've been learning a lot of stuff from you too, because over the years, I mean, I only heard like things about the occult on my end, and it just, I don't know, some things had definitely like a negative thought on it.
Yeah, that's how it was for me prior to getting into it. I've heard that same shit, I'm sure too.
Yeah, and like hearing your point of view on certain things too. Like I really like the fact that you go deep dive into so many different topics that everything kind of ties back into it. Like I feel like you did the Saturnalia episode that you did. I really like that one. And then on top of that, I was always under the impression that the Occult Rejects was a group for the longest time. So
well, it is actually. Yeah.
And it's all your friends that you bring on, right? That
but I do a lot of solo stuff myself. So some people may even think that like possibly it's It's one
All right,
person.
cool.
Yeah, there's probably we don't probably couldn't bring everybody on at once. We might have like 10 people, which I think StreamYard will let you do that, but average is like maybe 4 or 5. Sometimes we'll get 6 to 8 at once. But yeah, there's probably about almost close to 10 people total on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. And some like one of them even that I've had recently in the last 6 to 8 months, I ended up coming in touch with somebody that I used to even go to the OTO with. That's also an ex-member, Judith.
Okay.
So she's been on the show for a while now too.
Judith.
Yeah, she used to be in the OTO with me. We did initiations together and everything.
Wow.
We did a class together in the OTO. We did a class on sigils together. She had the idea, but she didn't want to do it alone. She was like, "You want to do it with me?" And I was like, "Ah, fuck it, sure."
No, that's awesome, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like I'm wearing like the perfect shirt too for the Grimdowski.
Right.
I feel like it's all like occultish in a way, or like sigils and
especially the colors. I like the colors for occultish.
Yeah, this is all Grimm's design, man. So shout
That's
out to
pretty
Grimm
sick,
and stuff too.
Yeah.
But man, so if and sorry if I'm going all over the place. I'm starting to drink an energy drink.
I will
and
too.
it's
So
slowly building. But
Yeah.
Nick, man, for I mean, the people that are listening to my show, they either know you or they're just new people that are coming in. Can you give people a little bit of like an origin story of like how you started into getting into the occult?
Yeah. I just, briefly, like as a child or as a kid, I was pretty open to, I mean, I guess now it's funny how like even aliens or UFOs would be considered conspiracy theory, but like I kind of grew up like believing in that in general. My parents were pretty open to that stuff. So, believing in ghosts and aliens was, quite doable. My parents even thought at one point the house might have been haunted itself. It's just sometimes weird shit to go on. But so I guess like I do count that as like possibly being open to other things. And eventually that did looking into that stuff more eventually brought me into like occult type stuff. And then but in a conspiracy way. Like I remember I was watching something on UFOs, some alien thing. And like I was on YouTube. This was back in the day, probably like 2010. And it played, they'll play another video next. And it played Project Camelot. Never heard of them. And they happen to be kind of like, I would say almost a podcast back in the day, whereas 2 people interviewing supposedly whistleblowers, and they would do it on camera and stuff. And I got into that. It seemed like all of a sudden I was exposed to all this shit I didn't know about conspiracies. And I noticed just for me, I kind of gravitated towards the ones that got into covering like occult. Some were covering it as bad, well, for the most part, except for like Michael Tsarian, kind of covered it for more from an informational aspect. But a lot of people like David Icke, Michael Jordan, Jordan Maxwell, Jordan Maxwell, David Icke, and then you have Michael Tsarian, and then Mark Passio, even him. A lot of those people are all into the occult. Okay. So I'm sure Michael Jordan is too. And so eventually I got interested in it, and I started researching a lot myself. And one day it just dawned on me that I was just like, I've been following all these like orders now and researching all these like bloodlines, or this started there, this started here, and this pantheon is here, and this is that old. But I was like, I don't have a clue what the fuck magic is. Like, I still have no idea. I just know all these like things that I've heard other people's mouths. Like, I still don't understand what the fuck is magic. And I was like, I thought it was crazy. I was like, maybe I join one of these fucking secret societies. I was like, let's see what the fuck it's about. And I wanted to get into the occult rather quicker. Actually back up a little bit. Before that, I had started buying books. Okay. To start learning certain practices. I remembered when I was a kid in high school, there was a few people that I remember that were like open about being witches. And I was kind of still friends with one on Facebook. And I had hit her up and asked her if she knew where she could point me, I guess, for, reputable stuff. And she started asking me like certain things that I'm into, and she knew me a little bit. And she's like, I'm going to be totally honest with you. She's like, I really do think you're probably like the stuff you seem like you're interested in. That would be more of a ceremonial magician. When I started looking into that, I was like, yeah, you're right. So she suggested a few different books, and I started using those books. And I did start finding inconsistencies between certain things. Like one book was taking a ritual from something that originated from somebody else and suggesting to do it. And when they were telling you how to do it in their book, it was actually a little off. So I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I guess, can't even you got to worry about what, book you're reading. So then I started thinking maybe I'll join one of these orders that tend to have established shit that this is this and that's how it works. And I wanted to get into something that did that right away. So Freemasonry was not even an option because I did speak to some people on Freemasonry that I knew from groups on Facebook, and they said you'd have to be in that for a long fucking time before they acknowledge that shit. I was that's not for you if you want to get into that right away. I was suggested the Golden Dawn, which I had heard of, the OTO, which I had heard of, and Martinism, which was new to me when it got suggested to me. None of those were around me except for the OTO. The OTO was about 20 minutes away. There was no Golden Dawn that I knew of. That was, I guess I could find easily. I
did
did
find Golden Dawn, right? Not Golden Door.
Yeah, Golden Dawn. Yeah.
Dawn. Okay.
There was one, realizing now I've had a guest on my show, Ike Baker. He was from Long Island and moved to North Carolina like I did. He was in the Golden Dawn and it was probably about the same distance away from me from the OTO, but I just didn't fucking know it was there. I found out now, later on from him when he told me where his lodge was. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even know that was out there. But whatever. I guess it wasn't as secret. Maybe it was a little secret, that one. I joined the OTO. Originally, I found them online, and all these places have some sort of social media or some sort of contact where you can at least get information about them. And I think at the time it was Tahuti Lodge. I think at the time they had a Facebook page that I came across after I found them on the website for the OTO. They have a map and it shows you where all the places are, which actually aren't that many, believe it or not. So I went to the one Tahuti Lodge because it was on Long Island. It was in Queens. And I was looking at their stuff and they had a calendar of events. And I noticed they did the Gnostic Mass. And I looked that up on YouTube and saw that there's one on YouTube. And I watched it and I was like, all right, it's a little different than church, but it's nothing. I didn't think it was anything too wild or drastic, actually. If anything, just keep it real, and I can understand it bothering some Christians. It keeps kind of Jesus out of the middle, and it's a direct conversation between you and God and asking God basically for the same shit you'd ask Jesus.
Okay.
So it kind of, it's I've even had a Christian and a Catholic. I'm just be honest, people that I've dated or was in a relationship with in the past, they've watched it with me. They're not into that shit, but they were both one went to Catholic school and the other one was a Christian. And they both even said it's really not that difference, except for the fact that just Jesus isn't in the equation. It didn't actually look anything crazy to them. Okay. But that's the YouTube version. We'll get to that. That's the YouTube version. They don't show nudity on YouTube. So I'm thinking, this looks all right. I can deal with this. This looks normal. I'll go to one of these for sure. I'll hang out, see what it's about. I hit them up and told them what I was interested in going. And I think the one I was looking to go to was 3 weeks ahead. And they're like, hit us up a couple of days beforehand and we'll give you the address and all the information. I was like, all right. So I let them know a couple of days prior. They sent me an email. They're giving me directions from all different ways that I could be coming. Gave me the address. Originally, I even thought it was weird. The whole thing, my first experience was really fucking kind of weird. I didn't know, just to give somewhat of an idea, because it'll make it sound worse until I get to it. The place that it was held in was an apartment building in Queens, but it was an apartment building that was technically a gated community. You needed a key to get in. It was whatever. I'm moving into an apartment complex that has the same shit. You need a thing to get through. So they, in the directions, it tells you that it's across the street from a park, which it is, and it's an apartment building across the street from a park. And it said, go kind of across the street and wait at the benches and people will come out to get you. And I'm already oh, that sounds fucking weird. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm driving down the street. I'm getting ready to park. And at first I'm even weirded out because I'm I don't want to be standing out there by myself. And then I saw just keep it real, a bunch of kids that look like they were goth or some shit standing out in the street. And I'm like, oh, that must be the OTO people. So I walked down. It is. Hanging out. I think I even started talking to somebody that started introducing themselves to me. And then I noticed the kid come out who unlocked the gate and was like, all right, you can bring everybody in. And I was like, okay. This seems a little bit more normal. Like, I understand, like, you needed a key to get in, you couldn't get in regardless. So, like, that stopped it from being a little bit weird that way. So go downstairs, you go into this main big room, and it's kind of like, it's probably almost like a big studio, and then there's like curtains, and then in there is the main temple. It's like a huge apartment that was downstairs in the basement. And I'm waiting, and then people are just like showing up, and I don't fucking know anybody there, and I'm just really not talking anymore. And waiting for them to start the thing up, and then somebody comes and they start explaining that there's certain movements, and they tell you when to do it, and they even hand you a pamphlet that you could even look at or read with, in case you're obviously not going to remember all this shit your first time or probably your 100th time. There's a lot of shit to memorize if you wanted to. So they do that, and then they bring us in. And, they're going through they're going through the initiation, which in my opinion shows a man who's like crossing the abyss and having an experience and coming back and telling people about it. But at one point, I'll be honest, the priestess takes her top off. And I had no idea about that. There's a point where like he picks the priestess up, he puts her up on the altar, and then she closes this like curtains. Oh, and then you hear her talking from behind the curtain. And then like he does some stuff, she says some more shit, and then all of a sudden like the curtain opens. I'm like, oh, fucking titties. I was like, oh shit. And I'm like, yo, I remember I'm like on the left side of the temple, the all the way in the back, the last motherfucker, because I was nervous and like, I'm fucking staying to myself. And I just remember having this like vision of like the whole fucking temple and this chick up on the altar with tits out. And I'm like, yo, how the fuck did I get here? I'm like, yo, like this is legit right now. I was like, this is where I am. Crazy enough, I guess it wasn't bad enough. I lasted about 5 or 6 years after that. Wow. But yeah, I thought that was weird. And I swear to God, I was even thinking, yo, if this gets any worse and turns to some eyes wide shut shit, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I mean, first off, at the time I was happily married, but there was nobody I was touching in that motherfucker. So it didn't even matter. Oh. I'm saying, even when I was single, I was not have probably been like, oh, this could be a good time. No fucking way. It's not my type, at least not that day. And so I was just like, yo, I'll admit that shit, I was just like, what the fuck, titties? I was like, this wasn't on YouTube. There you go. It was on YouTube. There's a Vimeo version that shows tits, which I did not know about until after the fact. But
okay.
So yeah, that happened. And then afterwards, like they kind of like, they'll hang out for a while. People bullshit and talk. And funny enough, the chick that was the priestess that had her titties out comes up to me afterwards and like starts asking me like what I thought about it. And she's like, we do, maybe she even saw the nervousness in me. She's like, we do other things besides the Gnostic Mass. We do classes. She's like, next week we're learning how to do tinctures. She's like, that could be real fun if you're interested in that. And then a couple of weeks after that, she says, we have candle magic. And then planetary magic. They would have sometimes a history of like old occultists or alchemists or whatever. So there was other things. So I was like, all right. I was like, maybe I'll try that out instead. And I did enjoy like the other stuff, and eventually decided to become a member, even though like still there was titties. That was really weird. Eventually I ended up getting involved in the mass, which put me in the position to them when the chick had her tits out, my back was actually facing her and I was looking the other direction. Okay. So that kind of helped simplify the awkwardness. Wait, as crazy as it sounds, I mean, it may sound like maybe some dudes might be like, are you being a puss about it? But like, yo, for real, even after 5 or 6 years, it was still fucking weird. I'm just like, yo, this is weird. Like, there was even some like people, a ritual. Like my friend's wife at the time became a priestess. And I was like, this is weird. Like, it's your wife's titties. Yeah. And it's like, what sucks is they were the nicest ones there, but they, of course they were fake. But it's like my friend's wife, so it's like I can't even gawk at them now.
Yes.
It was just like, it sucks. It's no fun.
So like this type of mass compared to like, did you grow up Catholic at all too or no?
Yeah, Catholic and Christian. I was originally Catholic, and my mom got like weirded out about Catholic church and became Christian.
Okay, because I think there was like I just heard about this, or I just found out about this recently, where before the Pope would always have his back to the crowd.
Oh, I think I've heard.
And then there was like a specific Pope. I don't know if he wanted to become like popular, pun intended. He became popular, but he wanted to face the crowd.
Oh.
and he started facing the crowd. I don't know if it happened in the 70s. It might have happened in the 90s. I don't know exactly, but he started facing the crowd instead. And then now all the popes ever since him, they all face the crowd. But with you explaining that, with her having her back towards the crowd, or did you just have your back to
No,
her?
I had my back towards her, depending on what I was. Yeah, the children, the part that I took, I would end up facing the crowd. And my back would be towards her while everybody else is looking at her. Yeah, so like when I got involved in the mass, that situation kind of.
So you were like almost like front and center. She was
yes, I was front and center in front of everybody. Yeah.
I see. Okay. I thought she had her back to everybody.
No, it wouldn't have been that weird then. I wouldn't have seen anything. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking maybe there's some sort of correlation with that, but who knows? Maybe that's like a thing where she needed to, or that's just their whole process, I guess, too. But
it was like some weird golden child situation.
Yes.
You remember when the lady behind the thing knocks it over and it's like some half naked snake chick?
I don't know, man. That's some
crazy
stuff. So like so you started this all started in when you did the mass. This was in New York, or was this in North Carolina?
No, I haven't been to any place here. No, that was in New York. That was in Queens, Sunnyside, Queens, actually.
Okay. All right. Man.
Yeah, because like Lodge.
I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand too is the fact that occult and cult are totally different.
Yeah.
And I think what happens too is people get the idea of growing up in something and they go, "Oh, you're a part of the cult." CULT. And then but if you're a part of the occult, then there's like secrets and different things like that. Where like I think there's a pro wrestler right now named Aleister Black, and I think
he plays off of Aleister Crowley, doesn't he?
Yes, and he has a lot of sigils and stuff.
Yes, I've had people send me him.
His tattoos are even like everything. Like he even has like the original sin where it was like the snake wrapped around the bitten apple, and then he has like all these, but he has like all these different gods, like from India, like Kali, and like all these other gods. And then he'll have like different, like a crow with 3 eyes, or he'll have like a wolf.
A headless wolf with styles of art to give occult symbolism. Yeah, from different pantheons and everything. Sounds like.
Yes. Okay. So I mean, you could be a part of the occult, but
you can study different stuff and just be totally on your own.
But I mean, like there could be technically like different denominations of it too, depending on which location you're a part
of. They all have to be run the same way.
Oh, okay. I think when you said Pantheon, that's what made me think of different, almost like different nationalities or different denominations, I guess.
That's it. That is like one of the things. Well, I mean, I would assume probably most orders are the same way, but the OTO, that's like you're gonna have like my experience. You have like it's a mixture of people who believe in all different types. Like I could be there. I'd be big into Egyptian. There could be somebody who's big into Mesopotamian or Babylonian, or Greek, Roman. So I mean, even though we do have those differences, I guess as long as you kind of get the idea of the OTO and you can kind of you go along with that, I guess like you fit in. Like you don't have to have like an actual specific belief system, really.
Okay. All right. And now could you touch on the OTO? It's the Ordo Templi Orientis?
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, okay. That was originally it was an inner order of Freemasonry that was supposed to be esoteric.
Okay.
It even allowed you to come over if you were a certain degree. You may not have had to start off in the OTO as all over, like at the bottom. You might have been able to carry over a certain degree, or over. It was started by like Theodore Roos. I always screw up. I always forget the other people's names. And eventually, I thought it was the Book of the Law. Somebody else was telling me the Book of Lies, and I think they were wrong.
Okay. He
ended up coming across one of Crowley's books and thought that he was giving away their secrets. I think this story is shady in itself. They contacted him. He's like, I didn't even know who you were. And I guess they got in touch. And then eventually they handed over the order to him. But even at that time, I had somebody on recently, Angel Millar, who's a Freemason, and he covered the history of Freemasonry. He
Okay.
touched on the OTO because he knew a lot about that stuff. And that even after Crowley had taken it over, it was still associated with Freemasonry. It was just an inner order, and he was still even taking Freemasons from Freemasonry and giving them like a grade in the OTO. And then eventually it became separate.
Okay.
But there was a point where it basically was just like no different than probably like the Knights Templar, the Shriners, the Jesters, Quetzalcoatl, like all these inner orders that specify in something. That one was specifically if you're interested in magic, ceremonial magic. So you started off in that automatically, in that inner order. So, for a while it was associated with Masonry, and then Crowley separated it. He knocked out a shit ton of the initiations and dropped it down to 13, which is Minerval, and then 12 initiations. Minerval's like an honored guest, that would allow you to go to closed meetings, which are neither Minerval or members only, and allows you to do other things, but you're not a full member.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's almost as if they even say, I'm sure there's more to it than this, but they even say like it gives you a chance to see more of what's going on and decide if you really want to join or not, because now you'll be able to go to more classes. Is it
okay?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna pull something up of yours.
Mm-hmm.
You posted this a while back. I guess it was a while ago. You were in Little Rock, Arkansas. It just made me think of it because
a long time ago. Yeah.
You said you mentioned Jester.
Yeah, that's a Venetian. When I went to Italy, I got that Venetian mask.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's actually in Venice.
Oh, all right. I thought I thought of like when you mentioned the Jesters thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's funny. He's like, wait, you just said Jesters.
Yeah.
No. Yo, I actually, what's funny? I think it might have been the next day. I was wearing that mask and the occult that T-shirt with I think the silent rainbow, and there was news there because it's a big thing in Arkansas, believe it or not. That event.
Okay.
The news was there, and I actually made it on like the thumb of a news of an online news thing.
That's awesome.
with the mask on, doing the OK symbol, wearing my Occult Rejects T-shirt. I was like, yo, that is fucking crazy.
Jeez. Yeah, dude, I love the art that you have too, like on all this stuff. Now there is like it's weird too, because I try to explain people like we kind of will get into the idea of symbolism and stuff, but it's not so much that it's symbolism in the occult or symbolism in Freemasons, but it's symbolism just in general of what things get put out in. Like, say, for example, you're playing a video game and you see something, you're like, man, something looks off with this. I know this from somewhere. And then you watch a movie and you're like, oh, that's the same symbol. I mean, it could be this checkered floor. But I mean, like there's a lot of other things too that I feel like are a part of occult symbolism.
There's a lot of things that get reused over and over again, or different orders or different like I guess practices literally might have different symbols for the same fucking idea. It's just they use different ways to express it, or some of them might look a little bit close to the other ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Like even with Freemasonry, a lot of their symbolism is redone in other shit. I would say theirs is a little bit more mathematical and geometrical.
Okay. And now that you mentioned that too, because I'm pretty sure when you were on with and I'm not trying. I told Rabbit this too, man. I'm not trying to poach you. Like me and you have been talking about doing a show and stuff for a while. I just wanted to try to get some more ideas of stuff to ask you and stuff. Honestly, I felt a little nervous. I was like, oh man, I know Nick, but I'm also like kind of. Well, here's the big thing. I took off recordings. I haven't recorded in person probably in over a month now.
Oh shit! Damn. Okay.
So I recorded with RGB from Conspiracy Chaos in New York.
Nice.
So I went to Albany and recorded with him. And then probably about a month ago, we recorded all in person. It was like our last big show where we were all in person. And we had we were on with Trebles and James from Flunderworld. So I was like, oh man, I gotta get. What's that?
I'm going on Treble show tomorrow, supposedly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, but there was things that you mentioned on with Rabbit that I wanted to ask you because I think you would slowly bring something up, or somebody else would bring something up, and then sometimes the conversation would go in a different direction, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I wanted it to keep going this way. So, I mean, not hating on them by any means,
Oh yeah,
but
that just happens naturally.
if
You know?
I was the fan in the background, just like, oh wait,
Yeah.
don't keep it here. But I think you mentioned gematria.
Yes, I might. Oh yeah, probably. I might have said that. Might have brought that up
Okay.
for some reason. Yeah,
Now,
gematria.
would gematria have anything to do with the occult or anything like that?
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's
Okay.
probably, believe it or not, and I'm not knocking anybody because, if people don't get actually like, if people really aren't living this life and get into this stuff, I don't think they truly understand how it's used and this and that.
Okay.
The way gematria is normally, and this is even one of the reasons why I'm not even really covering anymore or having guests on cover it, because in my opinion, especially, I'm just keeping it real, especially now since I'm purely an occult podcast, they would get shit on by my listeners because they're not, it's first off, most of it's not even really gematria that they're doing. It's actually a different form of numerology that they're saying is gematria, and that's not correct. There's different
Okay.
math behind it. But even like the style, it's just it's normally not used really the same. A lot of it, believe it or not, for most, is ciphering shit.
Hmm.
A lot of people, a lot of magicians
Decoding.
and a code, yes. A lot of, if you start looking into a lot of older occultists, a lot of them were even into that stuff. There was a certain name, forgot the name of it, but for ciphers and shit. But yeah, it's huge. Like even a while ago when but Lisa used to be on the show, my fucking ex-girlfriend, so obviously she's not on the show anymore. She's my ex. Yeah. She went down to the library in Texas, in Austin, that had handwritten it was handwritten book before it became The Vision and the Voice by Aleister Crowley. It was like
Okay.
basically unedited, everything before it got sent and edited and then printed out. And you will even see, like, the way he did it, the left side of the page was like for his notes and math, and then the right side was what he actually wrote. And you literally, like, he had, and I always keep on telling people this, he supposedly, he did at one point have this girlfriend named Rose, or wife. He even had a kid with her. Everybody
Okay.
a lot of times thinks he's always talking about her. And I was like, I don't think so, because I also think that the OTO might be a Rosicrucian order in some sense. So I think he's talking about something else when he says Rose. She went and took pictures of this book, and you see it a few times. This guy is doing the math to incorporate the word rose into the fucking shit because it's ciphered.
Okay.
So a lot of that, actually, a lot of gematria will be ciphering. Then that stuff also will kind of like go into math. One of the things I will say that some people do get right is a lot of times I could and I'm not picking this one because I'm a libtard. I'm not a libtard. It's just, it was one of the last ones I remember constantly seeing coming up. Let's Go Brandon. That thing matched, if you wanted to put, like, if you looked at the numerical value of that, it matched so many occult things as well. So sometimes, like, you could use something that matches that, and you might technically be reverberating, like, all these people are repeating the other word in a sense. Because it's just an energetic value of the word. You
Okay.
understand what I'm getting at? So, like,
Yeah.
BLM, I'm sure, what they're chanting, that probably was something else too,
Mhm. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
a lot
for
of times,
example,
like, certain phrases, if you were to notice certain phrases that are going on, and I hate to say it, on both sides of the fucking political aisle, you run that through gematria, I bet you'll find out those phrases match a lot of fucking occult things. And that shit, I do think there's something behind that.
now, would you say that it's something evil behind it, or would you just say that there's I I noticed that you mentioned yesterday, or yesterday, I listened to it yesterday. Um, I noticed that you mentioned, you were like, there's good and bad people in everything. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, you could look at the military, you could look at politics, You go look at church. I mean, you
Yeah.
go look at
Any
anything
religion,
and everything.
religion.
There can always be good people doing good things, or bad people, or there could be evil people doing good things, or
It's true,
good
yeah.
people doing evil things.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
nobody's
yeah.
truly
And
good or
the other
evil.
person's good because you saw him a few times do something nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, do you really think that Hitler was out there killing babies? I mean, well, I should rephrase it. Killing puppies? Like, do you think he was killing
No.
kittens? Probably not. So if you didn't see him do that, would people say, "Oh, well, he's definitely not an evil person"? But then
Yeah.
the other side of things, and you're like, "Well, he definitely was an evil person. He was doing X, Y, and Z."
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
so,
Or
but
or you do one small thing and then you get piled on with all these other atrocities that may not even be true.
yes, yes. Now, I don't remember, and sorry if I'm jumping around. But I had you on with we did like a big episode. I think it was like me, you, Sam from Web of Mysteries. I think it was RGB and maybe Alex. And you guys were going kind of back and forth with the ideas of like vampires and stuff.
Oh,
But I won't go that way. I won't go
yeah,
that
no,
route.
it's good. All right. I was gonna say we could go over that too and get my idea, but yeah, that's
But
fine.
I don't know if we went over it that night too, or if I might have heard it on another show where they said that the people that were getting burned at the stakes that were witches,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was you. I'm not sorry if I'm misspoke, but it was something along the lines of these people that were doing this type of witchcraft were kind of like getting like hiding behind the public. And then when this thing started coming out that things were under witchcraft, they started pointing at these other people and saying,
Oh,
if you burn them,
yeah.
yeah. So then they were almost like pointing the finger at these people that weren't witches, but they were like trying to say that they were doing spells, and they were the ones that were actually like pointing the finger at people. And I'm not saying that they were the ones, but
Yeah.
some people might think that and stuff too. Like, do you have any idea about those things?
Well, most of that stuff, I'm pretty sure he's still active on podcasting. I think he just came back recently. I would suggest, I don't know if it's something would come on as a topic, but Ron from Wicked Planet, maybe you even know who he is.
Okay.
He is actually in a lineage, I can't remember, but like one of the families in the witch trials. And he
Oh,
was
wow.
even saying himself, he knows for a fact that like around that time where all that stuff was going, the two family, like one family that was pushing the witch trials, and then one of the families that was getting accused. He's like, yo, they even had people marrying, having kids around that, And he said a lot of it, if you start looking at what was going on, it was pretty much a land grab.
Oh,
Because they could seize your shit too.
yeah. No, that I mean,
just kind of
honestly,
scalping
that
the
makes
property,
sense.
fucking with motherfuckers.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what I was kind of wondering too with like, I think I heard the same thing with the vampire thing. The people that were claiming that vampires were a thing were the ones that were actually doing some of the rituals,
Oh,
but
man.
they were blaming other people saying that they had it. And then you
I could
mentioned
see
that some of the same things were like the people that had tuberculosis.
Yeah, that's how I covered it. When I see, and then the thing is too, like, which I try to argue with some people. Technically, if you want to go by the word vampire that we're using,
Mhm.
if you want to follow it back to like its originality, that person has to die as well. So now Vlad the Impaler and that Elizabeth Bathory or whatever that fucking lady's name is who fucking bathed in the blood, they didn't die. They're not vampires. They're just fucking sick fucks. That's all.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're a vampire. You had to die. It's very interesting, and I really do think I have a decent case because you see even a lot of mockery and imagery of the vampires starting to show. I can't remember. I'd have to go back to the episode for the people listening to get the exact dates. I think this might be like the 17 or 1800s. I can't remember, but it's before obviously that Dracula ever came out.
Okay.
There was people who had TB and they were dying. The people's like relatives were starting to think that these motherfuckers were coming back and going to give it to people. And then the courts got involved, and eventually like even the churches got involved, and they started basically like taking these people up and then like, doing all these things to them that you would normally do to a vampire, thing through the chest or all this other shit, and then to make people think that everything was okay. But the whole thing really didn't start until TB became a problem. And other things that attached to it was in certain areas, believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds, if you had TB, a remedy that they thought was drinking blood. And they literally had meat markets slicing open fucking cow necks in the street and literally grabbing the blood from its neck and feeding people like that. And they started making art, basically, people trolling back in the day with memes of drawing pale people with pointy ears, all emaciated looking, waiting to get this shit.
Wow.
And then rabies, which is also attached to vampire bats, rabies. There was an area where people were getting rabies, and it was a group of people that some reason in their area, there was some sort of deficiency in like some mineral or something in their area, and it would actually cause your skin to like scale and ash.
Oh, okay.
Like now you start to see like certain things like almost culminating into each other about, now they have, problems in the sunlight, their skin.
Oh, yeah.
Now
They start feeling
because of the tuberculosis. And people were already starting to create, which eventually that dude ended up taking some of the art, some of the stories, and making his own Dracula, in my opinion.
Yes.
You already had like all the stories out there to put it all together. But a lot of it really does show all this stuff, people starting to think that people died and we're coming back and we're going to suck your blood. And then the idea that if you got bit, you could do it to other people. That was all with tuberculosis as well. It got as silly as like almost COVID, to the point where it's like if they couldn't come up with like a reasoning, they were like, well, maybe because you ate that cow that maybe he bit, now you got it too. It's almost like they had to come up with any reason to calm these crazy motherfuckers up.
Wow.
Because it was almost like a hysteria. And I even wonder if the church and law even knew these motherfuckers are crazy and we got to give them something just to calm them down.
Yeah.
Because there was like even people who did investigations like this. The way I got a lot of this is that some people actually started looking into like a lot of weird investigations, and they would go and interview everybody. They'd go to the precinct, police, get the whatever they had on it. They'd go to the courts. They'd go to the religious person if it was involved. And there was just like so many things where it was just like the guy who was investigating, like he even said himself, and he's like, and I think like he was probably being serious and maybe a little bit of an asshole, but it was just like, how do you explain to me that the ground isn't disturbed, but yet this guy came out of his coffin?
Yeah.
Like I'm not, let's not be children here. How the fuck do you try to explain that to me?
Yes.
The ground's not disturbed, and this guy somehow got out, bit people, and went back to sleep. Come on, man.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. I do think that there is a lot of evidence that there is a chance that between TB and a little bit of rabies and the imagery that they were already putting out there to make fun of those people, you ended up getting Dracula and vampires.
You know what's really interesting too that I just thought of? You ever had a migraine, like a really bad migraine?
Oh yeah.
What do you have to do to help mitigate the migraine and make it kind of go down? You have to shut your blinds. You can't be in the sun, the sunlight, the light activity. So I wonder if that could be a part of the tuberculosis, if that could be a potential symptom.
Yeah, true. I mean, because it's like, when you have a migraine, light in the eyes can feel like you just got punched in the head.
Yeah. And if they come out like
yeah, right.
I come out with my glasses like blue light. No. So, but and then I got some questions for you. I didn't want to forget. Sure. I typed them up just in case. All right, let me see. Because I asked my buddy, I was like, "Do you have any questions?" He was like, "Yeah, let me come up with some." He had some weird ones.
Nice, even better.
But he was like, he goes, "What are your thoughts of Bigfoot and Wendigos and descendants of fallen angels?" But if that has nothing to do with the occult, that's fine. I just figured I'd ask.
Yeah. Well, so is there another one? Maybe we'll go back to that one.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I was going to cover the Nephilim though, but yeah, fallen angels. That could.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. So these are some of the questions that I had too.
Yeah.
What's the biggest misconception about the occult?
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of like something that I've even been saying on a lot of shows and even some of my posts It's not all dicks and demons.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to think it's always something involving somebody getting fucked in the ass and something satanic. It's not at all. That's, either manipulation, a sick motherfucker, or people not understanding what they're doing.
Yes.
That is not actually, when it comes to ceremonial magic, that is not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to have to have an experience with God, actually, and to be enlightened. All that other shit, that's people doing it wrong or taking it their own way.
Now, do you think that there are a lot of, well, I mean, even today, I mean, people can identify as whatever they want. I mean, I'm sure there's people that have been on video that are like, oh, they're real vampires out there. And they're like, I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I'm sure that you got a lot of crazy people that are claiming the occult without having any expertise or any sort of knowledge in it, but they're running it with their own rules, so to speak. So they're making things happen, and like they're doing things out of order in a way, if that makes sense.
That's probably about 90% of Instagram and TikTok witches.
Yes, and
I mean, keep it, a lot of occultists, and to keep it real, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists that are running their mouths that really have no reason to be.
No, for sure. And that's why I wanted to have you on too, because it's like I wanted to give you a chance to give a personal experience and stuff, and give it from your point of view, which is probably the majority and not the minority of this whole situation. But like you even had like the other day.
That's another thing. The assholes doing the fucked up shit is like literally the smallest percentage of people that are into this. Like not even trying to, like, for people who maybe are turned off by this stuff. If you were to go watch a lot of the guests that I have on and they'll just listen to them after a while, you'd be like, all right, this person's not like a psycho and wants to kill people. Like, they're a normal motherfucker.
Yes.
Like, you can be normal and not evil and be in the shit. Like,
yeah. But you even had like the definition of witch as a person selling you crap.
Yeah, I was trying to troll. Yeah, I was trying to troll witches that day. I was on Instagram for maybe 5 minutes, and all I saw was fucking these chicks cosplaying, just trying to sell you crap.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, is that the only reason you people exist? It's horrible.
Oh man.
Yeah, I used to bust balls in the conspiracy community with people selling shit, and believe me, to a point, I get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
But like with the magic, fucking way worse, man. Oh,
yeah.
These motherfuckers just throw on makeup and an outfit, and somehow they're already like, oh, they must know what they're doing. No, they don't.
Yeah. Actually. Yes. Speaking of that, this podcast is brought to you by the Flavors of the Forest Bigfoot breath.
I was like, yo, is that real?
I got to put that on everything, man. If you want some, I'll send some to you.
Oh, that's real?
Yeah. Bigfoot breath. It's a garlic powder, dude.
I think I heard. Did you send something to Catalyst Jones?
No. So,
was he asking? I thought I saw someone having a conversation about getting this shit in one of these group chats I'm in with you.
So Flavors of the Forest probably posted it in the live chat. Somebody responded and said, I love your garlic. Well, then when they posted the comment on the screen, I thought the guy was mistaking you for Nelson, who runs Flavors of the Forest. But I think there was a different conversation going in with that chat, and they just put that comment out there. But yeah, Flavors of the Forest is freaking awesome, man. And you're Italian, I'm sure you make sauce and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I'll get you some fresh, freshly, it's like cold pressed, like fresh dried garlic, dude. And like if you get a clove of garlic, you take a bite of it, you're like, oh, this is spicy.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It has like, it does have like some weird burn to it, actually.
So the powder does, because of how fresh the powder is.
Oh, that is awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. They got a spicy one. They got a freaking regular garlic one. They even have some with lion's mane in it for that mental clarity while you're eating pizza. Yeah, dude. I'll get some out to you, man. I promise.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
But it goes great with everything. And I was talking about it one time. I put it on some popcorn, man, and inhaled it, and that was like freaking pepper spray in the throat, but it was really good after it subsided. But that's just me trying to sell shit. That's all. Nice. And then also wecandoitshop.com.
This is We Can Do It, your in-house print-on-demand shop. We print everything from t-shirts and hoodies to aprons, mouse pads, and more. If you've ever wanted to create your own merchandise, we can do it and make it simple. Start by choosing one of our customizable products. Select your size. Pick your print area, front, back, or both. In this case, we printed both sides. Upload your design. If you have an image that you found online, or you have an image that you generated with AI, or if you drew something yourself, we can upload that for you. Any image you desire. We can even remove the background. Choose from a variety of colors. And then add it to your cart. That's it. Once we receive your order, we print it, package it, and ship it. So if you're looking for an easy way to bring your ideas to life, choose We Can Do It as your merchandising and fulfillment partner today. We Can Do It. Made to order, made simple.
You could get some conspiracy shirts and stuff if you guys want any, or you want to make your own custom shirts. Feel free, go to wecandoitshop.com and check them out. Say Code sent you. They might give you a little bit of a promo code. So, but yeah, man, sorry about that. That was my little shameless plug.
You're good. Before I forget though, because I did have something else I do want to try to toss in, because I do think it's very important. And plus, I that kind of answer was just like, okay, it's besides Dick and Demons. What do you mean?
Yeah.
My opinion, and it's something I've been heavily covering, and there's other people on my show that are kind of into it as well. I think I'm like the one who's like, it's my gig. You know, it's the thing I'm into. Sure. There is a lot of science, believe it or not, in occultism. A lot of it is associated with the eyeballs, the brain, the nervous system. The eyeballs, brain, nervous system, a little bit of the blood, obviously, but a lot of art and symbolism, believe it or not, even comes from like certain things to do with your brains and your eye.
Okay.
A lot of art's even been based on your eyeball.
I remember you mentioned the eyeball, and like even be able to like retract some, or whatever it is when you absorb the sun through your eyes.
Oh yeah. When it goes into your eyes and your skin. Well, I'll go with the eyes first. Even when sunlight's going through your eyes, I did an episode just on how your eyesight works. People should go listen to it. It's really interesting. There's even chemical shit going on in your eyes and gases being made. But eventually, when it makes it to the back, to the optic nerve, which then will go into the optic chiasm, where it basically kind of like almost crisscrosses, and then one side, your left eye will go to your right side, and then your right eye will go to your left side, if I said that correctly. And so that's the optic chiasm. But as it hits the optic nerve, that sunlight gets turned into electricity.
Wow.
And even the sun, when it hits your skin, it will go through some chemical process, and that turns into electricity. So basically, our body basically takes the sun and breaks it down to electricity and uses it.
Literally energy in a way too. Yeah. It's like you go outside and it's cloudy and gloomy out, you get like kind of depressed, and you kind of get like you shrink it in. Where if it's sunny out, you're like, man, I got to take advantage of this. You get pumped up, you know.
Yeah.
And like not to even like even like Trebles, he has that liminal trees and stuff. And like I remember listening to that, and I'm like, man, this sounds so crazy, dude. But then I started watching a video of this lady going to a plant and literally talking to the plant, and the plant moving towards her as she's like giving it praise. She's like, if you hug a tree, like it gives you some sort of energy back. And I'm like, that's so, it's so woo-woo, I guess, in a way that it sounds. But like, if you actually did it, it's like, man, do you feel so much better? Like, is it just a mental thing? Because something so big and so old is there to be embraced by you in a way where you feel like you're actually giving some sort of outpouring positivity, where you're kind of getting it back in a way too. So I don't know. That was
when it comes to nature though, and botany especially, if you were to like really get into that shit and look how stuff works, you'd see a lot of occult ideas, and just you'd see, in my opinion, magic in that. That's even something a lot of the Nazi scientists that came over here, there are botanists too. A lot of occultists get into botany. And I'm just guessing, because it is a very basic version of life.
Yeah.
Extent, obviously compared to a human. And it just follows, like, I don't know. To me, it just follows a lot of occult aspects.
No,
occultism followed off of that.
Was Hitler really a part? Like, did he really like the occult, or like how? I've heard things mentioned that way.
I would assume to an extent, because especially his background, some of the places he was involved in did have occultism added to it. But it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I do think Himmler was the one that was behind that a lot more, because he was the one who was starting the SS and was really
that was like his next in charge, right?
Yeah, he was the one. He even told Hitler, and Hitler told him, if you can find me evidence, let's do it. He was even, before they ended up losing the war, he got permission and he was already trying to find evidence of it, or go to places or whatever. They were going to go after Christians and Catholics next.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was determined that they had persecuted Germanic pagans.
Okay.
Like there was proof of it, and Hitler was like, let's do it. You just got to get me proof. That would have been fucking, well, I mean, they never made it. Well, supposedly. Yeah, you know, who knows?
And can you say that one more time? People think that the occult is dicks and what?
I said dicks and demons. Yeah.
Dicks and demons.
Yeah, it's always satanic and it's always like sexual.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. A lot of sick shit happens again and everywhere, but
yeah,
that's actually, believe it or not, me doing a spell to change my outside world isn't even technically like, you're supposed to be doing shit to yourself to have an experience with God.
Okay.
I mean, at least for me, I mean, as a ceremonial magician, you are supposed to be working on yourself solely.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, try to change yourself to acquire things you want. But technically, if I want to start manipulating situations in my outside world, I would start saying that's black magic, actually.
Okay. And now, perfect segue for that. As my next question was, I saw you post. Sorry, I'm seeing all your posts and I'm trying to remember them as I go. But
some of them can be
you posted the word magic, but it was MAGICK.
Yeah, that was how Crowley spelt it.
Okay, all right.
And it was to, even though it doesn't mean there's a difference between the two people, but he wanted to say, and still, even then, you could buy a debate on it. It was the difference between the guy pulling a rabbit out of his hat and the guy having, crossing the abyss. Obviously, there's a difference in those two things, but the person pulling the rabbit out of the hat could have crossed the abyss, and they know how to mind fuck people to make people believe he pulled the rabbit out of the hat.
Okay. More like a mind manipulation. Okay. With like tricks and stuff. That's
yeah. Some of those people I do believe are actually occultists, and that's why they know. There's actually like a lot of stupid shit you could do with basic science and blow people's minds away if you cover and do it the right way.
All right.
Like batteries on your wrist could make a bottle cap, float in midair, and it could look like I'm making it float.
Okay.
It's fucking, batteries and fucking magnets.
And that's where your point of view comes in great, because you're like, I want to tie the science. And
that's another thing, even with magic. Sorry to interrupt you. And it's kind of funny because it almost, I find myself in the middle with occultists and conspiracy theorists. The science, when you start looking at it, some reason the occultists or the magicians seem to like not want to solely look at that, because I think they think it discredits the magic. I don't. I actually think it makes it more beautiful and more in depth. And then, unfortunately, with the conspiracy theorists, it's like, well, there's no dicks and demons now. But there is a lot of everything. The incense, chanting, scrying mirrors, singing bowls, sigils, talismans, and I could even get into another example with sigils and talismans. I'd really like to talk about that when I'm done with this. All of these things, the crystals, even initiations and rituals, even worse, it all affects your own fucking nervous system. It will even make you see shit. That is like that's another thing too, that like I just want to mention real quick. If you have a candle with your eyes closed and it starts flickering at a specific, around a certain rate, around 10 hertz, it doesn't matter, white, black, Asian. If you're in Africa, you're in America, you're in England, people will hallucinate the same fucking shit. Checkered floors, spirals, starbursts, and certain sacred geometry shapes.
Wow.
So now that's coming from us.
So you would stare at the candle and then close your eyes. And then
you have the flickering light and your eyes closed, will start like producing images with the background that you have with your eyes closed.
Wow.
They even started noticing that they certain caves that had some of these designs kind of done on the walls. They even noticed would have like, you know how like you see all these, like it looks like a story written on the wall.
Yeah.
Some of them would have like the spiral, the starbursts in there as well. They also started noticing that if you had a light in there and if you got it to start flashing at a certain rate, it almost started to look like the image was animated now.
Wow.
So then if you start thinking about that, well, the flickering, they would have seen the spiral, they would have seen the starburst.
Yep.
So they're already incorporating the flickering into the art, and that's why it looks like it's animated, because it was supposed to look like it's animated.
Oh, wow. And I mean, if the flame is going and you see that picture, I almost wonder if it could, you know how like you get a screen burn on your TV?
Yeah. That's, I know
like,
what you mean. That's
I wonder if,
thought of that.
I wonder if they're seeing the flame flicker
About.
and then they're seeing the image on the wall that's painted.
Yo, they can't figure it out.
Yeah, and then they close their eyes and
it's
it's moving.
Yeah. Besides that, what's another interesting thing? Oh, I didn't realize exactly what I was talking about. Like I was recording, actually verbally recording my notes. When it clicked in my head, I'm like, oh man, but it is what it is. And it's the truth. A lot of people that I've noticed recently, paranormal people, they've been using this thing where it's like they put some shit over their ears and then they put these like half round things on their eyes that starts flashing light.
Okay.
There's a certain name for this already. I already forgot what it is. They've done studies on that. Regardless where you are, you're going to see and hear shit. I will actually make you see and hear shit.
Yeah.
So like that's interesting in itself, but then unfortunately, like if you hear what I'm saying, you should read between the lines and realize maybe the person's having a paranormal experience and not the place they're at.
Okay.
Because if it's already going to make you hallucinate and hear shit, why the fuck are you using that during a ghost investigation?
Yeah, no, definitely. Or like if you're paranoid in a way too, like if you have that, like you're nervous or you get that anxiety and you're like, this is going to happen tonight. Like I'm so worried. Then you go in there with that fear. And then it's like when you go out in the woods, if you know your woods and you're not worried about it, you're not scared, you're not going to see anything. But if you are worried, you are nervous, you're almost putting that into your mind that you are going to see something. Then when something does move or crash or whatever, you're like, that was it. Like, yeah. That's very
so even that with that machine, scrying, I even like went into like stuff with scrying and like, believe it or not. And this even starts with like making something dark, or if you only have like, a lot of times people do rituals in the dark and they only have one candle. And if you're scrying, it's on a black obsidian stone, or you might be using water bowl or whatever, something black, but it's not even a regular mirror. Even a regular mirror within a dark room and just a candle, it's not going to be that detailed. It's not going to be that descriptive. Your brain on its own, your brain always needs a fucking answer. It cannot not know something. It's like probably lose its shit. So it will just tell itself things to make sense of stuff sometimes. If it's not a detailed image, and I think this might even almost kind of go back to like even, believe it or not, before we had all this artificial light, we lived in a completely different world. You would go hunting sometimes on full moons because that was light now at night when you normally don't fucking have any. So, and then that actually works on different roads and cones in your eyes. Certain things, will help detail in the darkness. But if you don't have, you will lose detail in darkness. Your brain will then, because like even going back to, let's say, you want to make sure that's, if you're hunting, I guess you'd rather make sure that that's some sort of animal than thinking it's not an animal. But like your brain will automatically be like, I can't totally get an idea that that's Nick in the mirror, but now I'm going to try to fill in what I think is missing to recreate the face or anything. So we'll actually fill in the gaps, and sometimes it's wrong, and a lot of times it is, which is why sometimes if you could stare in a mirror long enough at yourself, you might start looking weird. It's because your brain's filling in the gaps, and it's actually making a wrong image.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, your eyes aren't going to see your eyes.
You don't even see all this, my man. Our brain, part of our vision is reconstructed and made up to fit this whole visual field. We're not actually viewing all this.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like part of our vision actually is not here. Our brain just like figures it out somehow.
Dang. It's almost like the best way that I could explain it would be like if you're playing a video game and you're going to an area that's not loaded quick enough. And then it's kind of blurry, but then as you get there, it slowly builds it.
Not that I'm a fan of the fucking guy, but it was probably the one thing that I heard him say that was like, God damn. He's like one of those black science guys that you always see talking about space and shit. Nobody likes him.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. He was sitting down with somebody. Yeah, I can't stand him myself either. Nah. He was sitting down with somebody and they were talking about the idea of the Matrix or like living in a video game.
Yes.
And they said, do you think you can't go faster than the speed of light? Because then you'll be going faster than the program's writing the fucking game. And I was like, oh, fuck, and they did this, shit. But I was just like, damn. Like kind of what you're saying right there. It's buffering because it has to create the fucking image still.
Yeah. I mean, our eyes aren't going to be able to catch it. But like, even if you shake your head really fast, things are going to be blurry because your eyes aren't going to be able to catch up to it. I mean, even my brand new freaking webcam can't even keep up with me. I'm like blurry for it or something.
Oh yeah, if I started moving back like mine, I'd get the same shit as you're getting.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, I just got you. No,
like,
but
when I move half an inch and now you change. Like, come on.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
There it goes again.
Yeah, so that it just let people know that like your brain will even make shit up. Now this is the thing I wanted to get back that I think is extremely interesting, and it proves my point in a sense of you're supposed to be changing yourself. There was an Ars Notoria. That's a grimoire from I think 11 to 1200. Then there's even Giordano Bruno. He was burnt at the stake, I think, in the 16 or 1700s. He was a Christian mystic. He had this, the 1100s, Ars Notoria. It was a grimoire, and there were symbols in there. And you were supposed to meditate on them and look at them. And these things were supposed to help you with memory and knowledge. Giordano Bruno had some sort of book or some like disc system that had all these symbols and all this stuff on it. And you're supposed to look at one, I think maybe one a day or some shit like that. It was just went in a certain cycle. And he proved it to people. He proved it to a king and had to convince him it was natural magic so they didn't fucking kill him then. Wow. But so like what I'm getting at is it seemed to be, real. He said after 90 days, your memory would be insane. And they say that supposedly this guy could almost memorize like a whole encyclopedia worth of shit. Jeez. But like there's been like what I'm getting at too is that sometimes these things again are supposed to be used towards you.
Yeah.
There's certain things when it comes to I get it with men, but overall, when you start drawing symbols, curves seem to be more of beauty. That's more accepted. It seems nicer on the eyes. I get it. It works for men. We love curves. Then like weird angles of certain things will automatically make you uncomfortable or just feel off. There's a thing called, like I've said flashing colors before and other people have taken it wrong. When I say flashing colors, there is a system when it comes to making talismans. The Golden Dawn was big on using it. The OTO is big on using it. A lot of ceremonial magicians are big on using it, where let's say if I want to use Jupiter and I want to make a talisman for Jupiter, I should be using the color blue a lot. Then it's suggested that you will use the color orange, which matches Mercury. A little bit of that in there to give like a pop, and it's supposed to be like a flashing color. It's supposed to be like some combination that goes along with it. They have even started doing studies on that. And they notice that it makes the cones or the rods, whichever ones does, I was confused, whichever ones does the color in your eyes. It even fucks with them. And they have to, like, they're almost like fighting and they have to pull on the colors differently. So it actually even affects you. Sometimes it can almost make it look 3D. It can make it look like it's hovering a little bit.
Kind of like in the newspaper back in the day when you had like a little picture that would be green and red or blue and red. You would cross your eyes and pull it away.
That is one that, believe it or not, that's even a combination. If you want to use Mars or Gabura on the Tree of Life, that would be red, and it has a relationship with Venus or Netzach, which would be green. So if I want to make a Mars or Gabura talisman, I got to use red and slight green. And if I want to use the Netzach or Venus, we're going to use green and slight red. So
Wow.
like you're getting exactly what you're saying. You're getting that combination right there. That may affect eventually the image if you're staring at it long enough or start zoning
Okay.
out.
Now, the
It
first
may-
time I ever heard of talismans, it was I mean, I've probably heard of it before, but what makes me really really resonates with me for that is, and to kick it back to tuberculosis, was Red Dead Redemption 2. There was like missions that you had to do in the game to collect certain items, and then you would create this talisman. You would bring it to this guy. He would create it for you, and then it would give you some sort of ability. It might make you able to heal a little faster. It might make you focus on certain targets
Yeah,
easier.
yeah.
So it was like, I was like, what the heck is a
That's
talisman? Like,
exactly why some
I had to-
people exactly use talismans for real.
okay, but
Yeah.
I mean, they could be more than just the planets, right?
Oh, well, like certain ones. Oh, yeah. You can start including elements. You can start including gods. If you're getting into Hermetic Kabbalah, there's going to be all these associations that go along with that. So, I mean,
Okay.
there's like so many different things you could actually put on the talisman or attribute to it. But yeah, basically you're pretty much taking whatever idea or things fit into that little thing over there and making a talisman that fits that.
Do
Like,
you have
I'll just go
any-
with Mars. Let's say I had a wrestling match, or I was a boxer or a UFC fighter. You'd want to invoke Mars before your fight to be a warrior.
Oh, because he's the god of war.
Yeah.
Right.
You'd use that for battle or for strength, courage.
Okay. Now, could you explain, like, I mean, it could be, you could dumb it down as easy as possible, like whatever is easy for you. But like a talisman, could it be something like a paper clip and like a few other things? Like what is it exactly?
Technically, yeah. A lot of again with ceremonial magicians, for the most part, you'll probably be getting somebody dealing with like drawing something on parchment paper or paper.
Oh, okay.
But you can, and I have done it myself. I've made like bags with herbs and crystals in them, and I've turned those into talismans.
Okay.
You could technically, I mean, if you wanted to put a paperclip on your altar and I guess do everything else that you normally do, and I guess you could charge anything. I mean, you could charge statues, you could charge dolls, Divic boxes. I'm sure is probably done in the talismanic sense.
Okay.
Yeah, all that stuff basically is kind of like, believe it or not, that's all kind of along the same idea. If you're gonna like put something into an object like you see in like movies or conspiracies or things that really get done, it's all kind of along the same lines that you do for a talisman. It's just a talisman, obviously, if it's something that you're probably carrying along with you, it's probably something decent, because why would you want to put something fucked up in that and have to carry it around with you? I mean, you can maybe give it to somebody else as a mind fuck or whatever curse, but
Okay.
I never known anybody who did that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
And-
a lot of times, like for me, I'll even just use examples. At one point, I was working for a job, and sometimes they would have contests for like certain things. So like if you accomplish that your job, maybe you get bonuses.
Mm.
I would invoke or I would use Mercury a lot, or Toth, Tahuti, because that is for
You said
knowledge.
Toth,
Yeah, Toth.
the Egyptian one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Writing, education, knowledge. I mean, all that stuff is Mercury or Tahuti, Toth, or other Hermes. Then who was the guy with the I was the guy Raphael could even go with that. The angel Raphael. There's a little bit of healing behind that, in a sense. But yeah, like a lot of speech. That was another thing I was using, speech as well. I used that mainly for speech and like intellect and knowledge of what I was even saying, and then like kind of as a secondary thing, because I've been doing it for a while, so I was just doing something else to try to make it more detailed. Jupiter, which conveniently is also the flashing color blue for my orange, so I'm going to use both colors anyway. And it's also it's also looked at as a higher arc of Mercury, kind of like an elevated idea of Mercury. That would come with like abundance. It doesn't always mean money, but you could use it for that way. It's normally, believe it or not, spiritual abundance or energy, an abundance of energy. But like I thought that would go well, and just other aspects of it would go well with me trying to, do my job well, make sure I spoke well to people, I understood what I was saying, and then trying to get money from that.
Okay.
So I made a talisman that I don't remember. I remember a few things. I think I had Tahuti on there and possibly a few Egyptian symbols that went along with it. But this is years ago, a long time ago. I made something like that. And I think I did it on and this is another thing. Every day of the week has a planet to it. So I would do that if I wanted to have a Mercury/Jupiter talisman. I would do it on a Wednesday. And I think I did it on a Wednesday for Mercury. And then I did it on the hour. Every day there's 3 hours for each planet, more or less. I did it on the hour of Jupiter to add a little bit of Jupiter energy, supposedly, Yeah, and I did that to do that stuff. And I would incorporate other things, colored candles that would match that. My incense would match, probably stuff to do with Mercury and Jupiter. I might even use a certain colored light bulb.
And this is all the stuff that you would learn in certain books and stuff like that too. Because you're doing all this, I'm like, how would you know? Like, what hour of the day?
I will say though, and this is like a thing that did kind of surprise me. It's a little bit different. Like I think in the Golden Dawn, I don't know. I've been offered to join it, and I didn't recently, actually. But from the idea that I got, I think I was a little bit of understanding that the OTO was a little bit more like the Golden Dawn, because from what I got out of it from reading it myself and then asking other people that are in it, you do kind of like, you will get tested on shit. And they even do have like curriculum shit that you're supposed to be like reading and doing.
Yes.
So it's a little bit more stricter, and it's like you will be getting a lot of this stuff directly from them. You have like this is another misconception with magic, actually, for certain people. Aleister Crowley actually wrote very little fucking rituals. He only has the Star Ruby, the Star Sapphire, and then there's another one. Maybe you could throw in Liberesh in there. That's a meditation ritual that you do. Maybe there was like, the rites of certain things. Like he might have done, like one time he did a planet ritual out in the streets. It was like kind of done out in the public. But like a lot of people like want to attribute like the pentagram ritual, he did not come up with that. Hexagram ritual, he did not come up with that. People like on social media like, oh, that ritual Aleister Crowley came up with. No, he didn't actually. Stop giving the motherfucker more credit than he deserves. He actually did not write that much shit. So like what I'm getting at is, yes, there are certain things that he wrote that he may have suggested, and certain suggested things to get into. He even suggested like yoga and breathing practices besides like normal shit people would think. But like, you're not going to get a lot like you're going to have to look on your own and study other shit to actually really probably get a lot into magic. Like you can learn through him, because it's kind of interesting. A lot of people, and I'm not trying to church the guy up, believe it or not, even how he became known was a little bit more of a whistleblower and a conspiracy theorist. He was in the Freemasons and he wasn't in the Golden Dawn, and he had a magical experience. He believed the shit was real, and he came out and started publishing the Golden Dawn shit under his stuff.
Oh, okay.
So when everybody thinks like, oh, well, because that's in his book, no, it was something he used from the Golden Dawn.
And it was almost like he was releasing their secrets.
Yes, yeah, because he even said it, magic and theory and practice. Basically, everybody can do this. The bum, the shoe salesman, the doctor, everybody has the chance to have a magical experience and have an experience with God. Nobody, it's non-discriminatory.
Okay.
And he actually didn't think that it was right that the Golden Dawn at the time supposedly had some, a couple of rich people, a little bit of the elite, and he didn't agree with that. There should be the only people that know this. He thought it was for everybody.
That makes sense. I mean, like I feel like that's with so many other things too. Even if you were to look at it, it's like finances. Like you got all these billionaires that are like, oh, I move my money from here to here. That pays for this business. And then when this business pays for this business. So all the taxes, they just get circled around each other. And it's like, well, of course we don't know that, because then that's why we're poor. I mean, not you, or not me, but whatever. It's like not poor, but I'm not millionaire or billionaire rich or anything by any means. But it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when people start releasing stuff that's secretive for a higher level of person, like an elite type of person, and elite could be just very high knowledgeable, or it could be somebody that has secrets above somebody else, and they could be using that to hold above somebody else too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that's where I feel like all these secret societies or these different things, it's like the gatekeepers. You have people at the top.
No, I totally agree.
They don't want any of that stuff out.
I don't agree with it, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't agree with them being like that, but I agree with you.
Yes,
That's one of my issues, and that's one of the reasons why eventually I had a magical experience. I left the OTO because I was just like, this is totally. I just felt like I was going in a different direction in the lodge.
That was my next question. Why did you leave the OTO?
There was other reasons besides that. Just gonna keep it real. Around when COVID came, first they also closed when COVID came.
Okay.
That irked me a little bit because I was like, the fucking churches are open.
Yeah.
So like, I guess, Horus, Jesus has got bigger bulls than Horus right now. I would keep them equal or whatever, maybe Jesus, whatever. But, I obviously it's like, what the fuck? I thought Horus was this great, Egyptian warrior, and this motherfucker's scared, and Jesus has got his doors open. What the fuck? So I didn't really agree with that. Then they started doing Zoom meetings. So I was like, that's something to do. But even, believe it or not, even prior to this, I wasn't going that much anymore. Let me back it up. When I took my second degree, at the end of the second degree, they will tell you certain things that are kind of like mandatory or things that you might have to have accomplished or done to even get to that degree or get to the next one. I'm almost pretty sure it's the 8th one. You will be signing over your shit to the OTO. So when I heard that, I was like, well, I know I'm not staying here.
Yeah.
Because
what do you mean signing over your stuff? Like,
well, I guess it's like a cult at that point. You're like signing your property over to the fucking OTO.
Okay. Like, so if something happens, they can get all your stuff? Or you mean like your spirit?
You're actually like your bank account and like your house, it's under their name now, man.
Yeah. See that, man. I mean, not to throw shade, but that kind of reminds
me fucking crazy.
That reminds me of Scientology.
It's like any cult. That's like textbook cult shit, man.
Yes.
Yeah, no, but even before that, like that was even like another thing where it's just like you're not going to get to the 5th degree unless they ask you. So like, what the fuck is after the 4th degree, man? Because even the 4th degree, you're already considered a perfected magician. So like, what's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 initiation?
Yeah. And nothing, and I swear, nothing against you, nothing against anybody in these secret societies by any means. But whenever I hear that these top level people are gatekeeping for something different or something specific, that's what almost makes me, and I'm not saying that they're evil, but it almost makes me wonder, like, what kind of stuff is gate kept for the people that are willing to give up everything for that? Like, if they're like, hey, sign over your stuff, like, you're like, okay, well, let me give you an example for this. Even in Christianity, Jesus told somebody, this guy, he was like, I do this, I do this, I do this, like all these different laws that he had. He goes, I do this, I do that. And he goes, okay, sell all of your things and follow me. And he was like, I can't do that. It's like, that's what I'm almost wondering if that's the case with some of these higher up in these elite secret societies, where they're like, sell everything. It all belongs to us now. You belong to us. And you have to keep going this direction. Like, I don't know what they have to do.
Once you get to the 10th degree, everybody splits what everybody gave up in the 8th degree.
Oh, like they share it amongst each other?
Yeah. Like it gets.
Yeah, but if you came in with a sack of potatoes and this guy's coming in with a mansion, you're like, yes, I got a room.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. Yeah. I saw, all that stuff bothered me, but then eventually, all right, the COVID situation bothered me. Then they even sent out a thing where they were like, for a while you had to be vaccinated. And I was like, well, I'm not going down anyway. But they were doing Zoom meetings. And when the George Floyd shit happened, I'm just going to keep it real. They did a meeting for it. And I was just like, I got an email. And I was just like, what the fuck does this have to do with the OTO? And I was like, I'll go and check this shit out, see what it's about.
Yeah.
And Antifa started getting promoted. Protesting started getting promoted. They definitely got political. And
that's
I was
so
just
crazy.
Like, man, I'm done. Yo, and I'll be totally honest with you, if it was filled with far right Nazis, I would have been turned off too.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah,
I do.
I'm not a far right Nazi.
It's not. No, it's not a. It's not supposed to be about anything except for like magic or the book of the law or like politics is.
Yeah.
Some people might want to try to argue that, and it's like, all right, if you want to argue that, look at anything that supposedly came out of Crowley's mouth about politics. He shit on the whole idea of it. He didn't pick sides. So you got to stop with that then, at least.
Yep. And that's where I feel like everything has turned. Like, it doesn't matter where you look. They'll try to say that it's left versus right. And if you're going this way, if you don't believe in God, then you also believe in the science. If you believe in the science, that's your faith, that's your belief, that's your God. And they want you to be vaccinated. They want you to vote the same way. And if it's the opposite direction, then they're like, oh, they're completely out there. They're thinking that we're all going to hell. And it's like, that's not the case either. It's like, I don't know why people are trying to always, I don't know. So
no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But
the ball along the way, man. For real.
Like the only time I ever met people that were like, I'm pro, like I trust the science. The people that said that they trusted the science, it was almost like they gave science the throne and made them their religion. And they're like, I have to do this or I'm going to die. And it's like, well,
sure.
And if people don't believe in anything after life, then they're like, well, I'm definitely going this route because I don't want to die because I don't believe in anything after this. Or, I mean, to the crazier side of things, where if they're like, oh, I believe in the devil and I worship the devil, then I still don't want to die. It's like, oh, okay. Well,
that was even another thing that blew me away with the COVID shit. I was just like, yo, what? Like, all you ceremonial magician and witches are scared now? Like, what the fuck happened?
It's so weird. It's like
such a gangster witch. Just do a little spell and you'll be okay, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on. What happened? Now all of a sudden you're scared about everything.
Yep. They sold
Between
fear
COVID
so
and
much on
politics,
everything.
ceremonial magicians and witches turned into a real big fucking bunch of pussies. Honestly. Just straight up. They hear me say that.
Sure.
But it happened, man. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's like, you obviously are LARPing or fucking bullshitting about your practices because I don't understand how this scared the shit out of you, but you're doing all this other shit supposedly out of the Goetia and working with this, come on.
Now, would you consider like a Wiccan or would you, I mean, a Wiccan is like their religion, right?
Yeah. I think it technically is a religion, like literally.
Like if you're a Wiccan, you could be a witch or a warlock. Is that how that works?
They may use the word warlock. I don't know. Okay. I could just say, like, for me, for ceremonial magic, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. The only people I ever heard use warlocks are like some witches or conspiracy theorists. I've never heard that word used by a ceremonial magician. Seriously. No, for sure.
Like, I didn't know if somebody was a Wiccan, would they be considered an occultist?
They could be. I mean, they could be multiple things. I will say Wicca, I think it does have a little bit of its own belief system behind it, but just for some people, they may not know this. Gerald Gardner started Wicca. He was also a student of Aleister Crowley. And Aleister Crowley even gave him the option. He gave him the, he could have a charter. He could open up an OTO lodge and have it like an area. And he chose not to do that, and he started Wicca instead. And if you look at Charge of the Goddess, fuck ton of it's ripped off of the Book of the Law with New Eat. So basically, Wicca is like Thelema light for witches.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could think of was
Thelema is considered a religion. Literally, like they get tax exemption. Even though, in my opinion, I don't think it should be. But see, this is the thing that I'm also very different with a lot of other occultists. I do believe in one God that we all came from. I don't believe, and I do believe the possibility of Jesus and other figures that have been known for doing great things in this world. But these gods, I don't think they're sitting on a cloud waiting for a fucked up human to tell them what the fuck to do. I don't believe in them actually as that sense. I think of them as being archetypes of ideas, parts of a fucking story, just to like encapsulate an idea of like energy changing or something happening. or they're
Okay.
used to, like, some of them always have this death and rebirth. That's literal too. If you want to take magic, to my opinion, the farthest you want to take it and you can go, you are knocking yourself the fuck off to an extent. So there isn't literal death and rebirth. So, like, my opinion, these gods don't exist.
God, like little G gods, right? Is that
Yeah,
what you
like,
would say?
I don't think Thoth is actually real. I don't think Thor is up there with his hammer waiting for me to ask him to do fucking something. That's
Okay.
comic book and childish to an extent, in my opinion. It's just
Okay.
kind of silly. Just for me. I
Yeah,
just don't, but I do believe that there is one creator that we have all come from.
So, like, if you were to make a talisman, for example, and you picked a specific god, that's just more or less like the
Specifically,
symbolism, right?
Yeah, that's more symbolism for me.
Okay,
Really,
okay.
a lot of art for me, a lot of like, even some of the things you were showing before.
Yeah.
Maybe even the next time I come on, I can even give you some things. Like, believe it or not, all my art is deeply actually symbolic.
Okay.
All of it, and most of it's all pointing to the eyes and the brain or the
Mhm.
nervous system.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can use, and I always use like the same dude because that's representing an idea that then fits into everything else. But like, you can, like, in my opinion, like, you can literally use like a character to like explain like a whole like thing going on.
Hmm.
It's like
Okay.
it's almost like it's a symbol itself to tell a much, much bigger picture.
Okay. Now, I do have a couple more questions. Oh, dude, and I could go however long. I have pictures
I
I
don't
could
even
show.
think I originally answered whatever I was saying and got strayed, but
No,
sorry.
no, you're fine. I think I asked about the Wiccans can be considered occultists. You say
Oh yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
You
I consider
said
that. Yeah, that would be some Wiccans. I mean, that can get very ceremonial magic and very, it can get it can, if it can teeter both sides. So I would definitely
Okay.
say you can be an occultist and a Wiccan for sure.
And
But
then
you
you
could also just be a Wiccan and just be a witch.
okay.
And in my opinion, there is a little bit of a difference between the two.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it would, in a way, would witches
Ceremonial
use them as
magic, they're
spells?
going to be probably having some sort of structure from
Mm,
something. A witch, and I'm just being cute and obnoxious in the way I say it, but like, a witch will hold a crystal in their hand and spin around and throw lavender over their shoulder and think they did something, and they may have. Maybe they mind fuck themselves,
yeah.
but like a magician, like, to do a ritual or a spell, it's like, I better make sure I got an hour and a half. Like, if I want to have a meditation or a ritual bath, I got to make sure I have that much, chalked out for the day.
Okay.
A witch will go in their altar, blah, 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 totally different.
Okay. And then you said why you left the OTO. Did you mention at the beginning why you joined?
Yeah, well, it was because the whole thing with, like, even when I started reading books, and again, it went more like my friend had even suggested. I was very much like, even I had even told her, I said, listen, I'm not a huge fan of the man himself. I said, but the stuff Crowley suggested, again, not all the stuff is for him. Probably 80% of the shit he suggested actually came from other shit. It was all very regimented and had like just suggested ways that works. And she even thought, again, because of, I guess, how witchcraft can very much be on the whim and just thrown together, she thought I'd be very much involved in that. And I started finding discrepancies in certain books that I was using, or I just kind of like, for me, I'm even more of a visual person. And I even, for the OTO, I even assumed that I would come across other people that were into different shit. So I thought it was possibly a place I could even learn from. So that's basically the main reason, is because I wanted to actually go to something that, like, a lot of their suggested stuff, there's a formula. There's very much, believe it or not, I've done it on White Rabbit show. I think I did the pentagram and the hexagram ritual. I didn't like actually do it, but I verbalized it and did some of the handwork. If you were to hear what those rituals sound like, there's like, you wouldn't even know, like, okay, what are you doing? Because the rest the magician has to do, but there is a certain framework that's done in. Like, even what I'm trying to get at is, even though those rituals are in Liber O, the only thing you're going to do is just banish any energies, negative energies around you. That's all you're doing with that, because you don't know what the fuck else to do. You have to actually build your own ritual, come up with why you're doing it, and structure all that on your own. So like a lot of times when people are like, oh, that person made that ritual, it's like, how the fuck do you know that?
Okay.
You know what I'm getting at? It's like these
Yeah,
rituals that are out there for us to learn. That's like the basic thing until you start constructing it.
Almost like if you're like, okay, say for example, you're like, I want to keep this negative energy away from me. You're in a specific spot. You're pretty much meditating on what you want the outcome to be.
Oh yeah. You could do even like, believe it or not, prayers.
Yeah.
Prayers are huge. Believe it in ceremony. Christian magic is actually huge. I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Now, would you consider that fake?
Listen, this is another thing, and I even left that out. First off, the word Om. I have a two-part series, two episodes, just on the studies of what that does to you. Reverberating,
like say it,
your body.
like Om.
Yes. Yeah, when it
Oh.
comes to repeating things, mantras, there's even hesychasm to a sense. I mean, that's, Catholic or Christian. There's certain, when you start repeating certain things, besides the mind fuckery behind that, believe me, it actually does happen. You listen to the shit to find out. Just the sound itself, reverberating it through yourself, it all starts to do shit to your nervous system. So again, a lot of this, even with the chanting, the repetitive stuff, it all does affect you.
Oh, for sure. And there's different things. Like I notice when like people will go like this all the time, right? Or they'll do different ones and stuff. But when there's when the yoga person would have their legs crossed and they would be breathing.
That's because of we do have chakras on our. We have that. Everybody knows the main chakras down the body, but the body has tons of other ones through all out of it, and our fingertips have them and everything. So that's like connecting like certain pressure points and things.
Now, if you hold this part of your finger closed and you breathe in as deep as you can while using your diaphragm and letting
it will actually be different, right?
Yes. So each finger, it lowers the breathing. Oh, come on. Come over here.
That one is just totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even like when you get into Chinese medicine, man. They focus on the body like crazy with all that shit.
Yeah. Jeez. I don't know why this thing just moved all of a sudden. I got AI camera help. Worst guy ever. Come on.
Yeah, to fire this motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, damn it. Can you turn a little? No. Jeez. It's gonna be like this the whole time. But anyways, with the breathing portion of it, if you have your fingers here and you breathe in, it's higher in your diaphragm. And then once you get to each one, it gets really low into your diaphragm. So like if you're laying on your back and you have your fingers on your pinky and your thumb together, it's very, very low into your diaphragm, like down by your, I don't know, groin area, I guess. But it helps get more air into that way. And then there was another one that I saw recently. It was a thing that was released by the CIA, and this lady had found this document that if you said, I think it was like, if you think about a specific body part that is in pain and you say 555 while thinking of that body part.
Oh, I've seen that go around. I saw that a while ago, though, actually.
Yeah. I probably have it saved from like 2023 when we started the podcast. I just never had a reason to talk about it. But I wonder if those like little things like that could be considered like a spell that we don't know, or something, not even a spell, but like
all right. You know what's this is a good example. I'm not saying it's going to totally relieve pain. Man, I don't know if this has to do with the breathing. Maybe I forgot exactly why if I got into it, but this goes. I mean, a perfect example would be like a church, but I don't want people to think I'm necessarily attacking Catholicism or especially Christianity, because I think it actually works more in a Christian church, but it still works in like initiations and rituals and other stuff with group people. When you have group people, let's say you're at a Baptist church, they got the music going, everybody's singing, everybody's clapping together, or everybody like moving their bodies together. For some reason, when humans are in synchrony, when they're synchronized, you actually, it affects everybody's nervous system to the effect that you even start dropping dopamine that can be considered a mild painkiller. So like I just like, let me say this real quick. I'm not trying to shit on people.
No. I totally see where you're going.
I'm wondering when I might have thought that Toth or that energy or the power of God inside of a church, I thought I was feeling him because I came out of there feeling amazing. It was because of the synchronized body movement that partially got me high, probably.
Yeah. I mean, praise and worship at the beginning of a service gets people it helps people either get to a mindset, but
it changes you in your brain and your nervous system. That shit, it is unreal.
Yes. And I honestly think can happen too with like they show different type of people. Like I've seen videos where it just like making fun of people and stuff, but like different type of people in worship for church. And they had the Midwest guy and he's just standing like this, like just going like this. They had a guy with his hands in his pockets. They had a lady raising her hands and like all these different things. But it's like, if you started to almost like be less afraid and you're like, all right, I'm going to be, what the hell would you say?
Sure.
What's it called? Oh, confidence. Yeah. If you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. No matter what, I'm doing this. It raises your confidence.
Oh, yeah, because it's like you're even like amazed with yourself. Like, wow, I just conquered my fear. Yo, it almost like trips some like fucking feel-good trip, right?
Yeah.
I know exactly. Like for me, you almost literally even feel like a rush go through you. You're like, yeah, I'm the man now.
Yeah. Like go to karaoke and try to sing in front of everybody by yourself. But if you have all your buddies in the whole bar and they're all singing,
it's going good and they're laughing and
Caroline comes on, everybody knows the lyrics.
Think about that. Every time you're at a bar, everybody starts singing that shit when it comes on. How everybody's all like, oh yeah, for sure.
It doesn't matter if you're tone deaf or not. They could sing over you and you're not even worried about it. And
think about this with sports, man, with people on the fans and shit.
Yes.
That's why these people can seem like they're so fucking in awe. They worship these motherfuckers. Think of the feeling, the synchronized feeling everybody's giving each other out there.
Dude, now listen to this. All right. You got the synchronized feeling of winning.
Yeah.
But when they know
the wave, when everybody does the wave, that I even mentioned that in my shit.
Well, what about when they lose and you're like, I know they lost because of this one thing.
I guarantee you, if you're at home and you watch them lose on the TV versus being in the stands, it's gonna be a different type of anger.
Yeah. You shut it off, you're pissed. But if you're there and they're like, let's throw,
you're beating up the other team's fucking fans afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
the worst thing you might have done was like throw your fucking beer can or some shit at the house.
You broke your TV. You're like,
you're pissed at yourself.
So, and then what was I gonna say? Oh, has your views changed on magic and the occult since you left the OTO?
Since I left the OTO, while I was in the OTO, yeah, it definitely changed for sure. When I had a magical experience, it changed everything all over again.
Okay.
I never even got into a lot of this science stuff until then, or even looked at it in certain ways. But even from the beginning, and it was never in a fucked up way. Maybe it still might have been in a spiritual sense, and I didn't realize it. But it was never like, people would be like, "Oh, that guy's fucked up." I never was going into it to do like fucked up shit. I just actually wanted to have an easy life or weave through the matrix. Maybe some of that could have still been selfish in some ways, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm getting into this so I could, make this person do that. I can make this happen for this. I didn't think I was going to start pulling strings around me. You know what I'm saying? I literally went into it thinking I'd make me a better person. And I, kind of bought into a lot of the psychological aspect, which it is huge. It's actually bigger than I even thought it was then. But there is a whole other aspect that, even I got a lot more spiritual with it.
Yeah.
But even the whole, my opinion, if you have a magical experience across the abyss, that just changes the whole fucking thing. But, it did start off a lot more probably about me. And then like at the end, it was still about me, but I was working solely really with just God or angels to bring messages to God. But like, a lot of it, I was like literally just like, again, like with the Kabbalistic tree of life, each sphere is like an essence of God. I would sometimes work with whatever I thought, like kind of conversation I wanted to have with God at that moment, which one fits this sphere. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of it was just basically theurgy, which is what you would call it.
And this the Kabbalah? You said Kabbalah, right?
Yeah, Tree of Life, yeah.
Okay. Now with each, could you say that one more time with each ball? Like what they
each sphere is a Sephiroth. And it all has its own idea of God. They have like a God aspect. Kether is like the top one. That's like, God.
The white one.
Yeah. But then even like Metatron will be associated with that as an archangel. But every sphere will have like a God aspect, then an archangel, then there'll be like an order of angels. And then it'll be like the planetary spirit, which then you could also attribute gods to.
Okay.
So like since like Mercury would be attributed with that orange one for the planetary thing. Okay. And again, this is only Hermetic Kabbalah. If you actually get into Kabbalah, that's more of like straight Jewish, and like they'll even say, we don't know what the fuck this shit's about. This is all added shit. Yeah, their shit is like literally very deep, like solely on trying to understand God and creation. It's like literally just doesn't sound like all this stuff is not part of regular Kabbalah. That's Hermetic Kabbalah.
Okay.
So like, but like, yeah, there'll be archangels and stuff, but yeah. So I would start contacting kind of like the God essence behind those spheres instead of like the angels or the planets or God or an idea, certain things like that. I was just solely going to like the aspect of God that could be associated with that.
Okay. Now, all right. And then I was going to ask you too, because you mentioned sigils before. I have a couple pictures. I mean, I did this on, I did a whole breakdown of that Aleister Crowley dude. Or Aleister Black, the wrestler.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I may have mentioned his name one time. I did a show with Greyhorn Pagans. I think they took it down though on video. I think maybe because of the WWF shit, but yeah, we were covering like occult wrestlers, and I think his name got brought up. I don't know if it was me or somebody else, but yeah, it's funny. That guy's like kind of like popular as an occultist in wrestling now, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying.
I think it's rather plain with his tattoos and shit and his outfits.
Where is it? I think I have to select a bunch altogether. But I just wanted to ask you about some of the sigils, which is well, the one thing too, I think he is a Freemason as well. And I honestly wonder if his I wonder if a lot of the occult is his character and not so much of what he really believes in, I guess. If that makes sense.
Well, you could even still be into some shit and present yourself into being into other shit or kind of accident. Yeah.
Did this load up? Okay, here we go.
Or it might be like, this is a tame character that I could still kind of have some occult artistic flair in it, but it's not really what I prefer to do. Because
yes, exactly.
People will be like, that's too fucking overboard.
So this is the definition that I found. And this was all just because of somebody else breaking him down. They broke down like all of his like his meanings and stuff like that and all his different tattoos. So what I did was I took the audio of that portion of somebody else's podcast, and then I put pictures of everything the guy was saying. So that way it was actually like breaking down the entire video. And then that way people could watch. It was like maybe a 7-minute or 9-minute video. They could actually understand what he was talking about. So like the dude broke down like the I think it might have been Isaac Weishaupt, but he was breaking down all the different tattoos.
Yeah, real quick.
Yes.
With sigil right here.
Yep.
I know you didn't read it, so the people aren't listening. Maybe if somebody's watching it, or just even for you. It says that it's used for angels and demons. Yes, you can use a lot of sigils. That is exactly how you will contact angels and demons. But for a lot of people, like even when I said sigils, there is systems that you use to create your own. So someone can have a sigil and you have no idea it's a sigil because you don't know what you're even looking at.
Or
because
it's not like a main sigil.
yeah, like it wouldn't represent like, like the sigil of Saturn is the sigil of Saturn drawn in the planetary square of Saturn is always going to look the same.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if I like, all right, one time I used the servitor, which is like a thing that will kind of go out and kind of like help you accomplish something.
Yes.
That I created it, I gave it its name, and I wanted it to be associated with Mercury. So I think I used the Mercury magic square, and then the name that I created, I played connect the dots inside the square to get its sigil.
Okay.
That's going to be unique, and somebody wouldn't know what the fuck they're looking at.
Yes.
It's like, first off, how do you even know that I used the planetary seal? Because I could have even there's other ways of the Golden Dawn has its own rose sigil. The other ways with chaos magic, you're literally going to make designs out of the letters that you used for the sigil. So it's like, I just want to let people know that, like, just because like it says here, it's angels and demons, you could have a sigil that literally could be like a phrase. I want I want more money. You can put that into a sigil.
Okay. And it's not so much for summoning something all the time, right?
Yeah, or it's an idea or an energy. And again, from things that I've even found with science, and even from my own experience, what I think is happening, a lot of these things, either it does somehow affect you because you looked at it, because either the shapes, it does something in your nervous system, or your mind fucking yourself. That's all.
You're giving it the power.
Yes, or you're basically burning into your brain what you want to accomplish, and you will unconsciously put yourself in that direction anyway.
Okay.
Every time you see that sigil, it's stuck in your memory now that it equals whatever it was, and normally whatever feeling you have or whatever you're kind of going for or looking for will be attached to the memory, and it happens all over again. You're telling yourself what you want to do.
No, definitely. And then I think the guy was mentioning this one specifically.
Oh yeah. That's what did he say? That obviously probably tied it to the Satanic Church or some shit.
I think he said this was like the Leviathan cross.
Yeah, and it could also be used for the sulfur as well.
Yeah, but if people don't know what the Leviathan is, it's like it's a creature in the Bible that they mention, but I don't know if it's I'm sure it's in other writings as well. But it might even have some sort of tie to being like a beast, which could have been a dinosaur back in the day as well.
Yeah.
But I think he was just kind of going over this stuff because he was going into like, this is the name of his like brand and stuff like that. It wasn't really
Blackcraft Cult. Oh, I didn't. That's his.
Yeah,
I've heard of that. I had no idea that was his.
And honestly, I think
that shit like sold in Salem.
I think what happens too with this situation or this scenario, for example, is this is a character that he wants to portray.
Yeah. That's what I got out of it. It's like his alter ego.
Yes, kayfabe in wrestling. You're going to portray yourself this way specifically if that's going to be your character, because you don't want people to know who the real you is. So if you're going to get all these tattoos or you're going to get these things to keep your character in line with who you are in real life too, so that way it doesn't really blur the lines. That's how I kind of look at it as well. Like, this guy's getting a lot into like the witchcraft type of stuff, but he's linking that to the occult because his character is based off of the occult. And then I guess some sort of thing like his dad was a part of a cult in Netherlands or something, but that might just be like the makeup of his character. And like somebody made like a tarot card of him as his character. So and that was somebody else. I think that was the Tower. No,
I was gonna say that's tarot card.
This is a tarot card right here too.
Yeah, the Tower. Yeah.
Okay. And that's another thing within itself. But like, yeah, he has like that's the black cult brand. He has like a witch burning at the stake. And then this is what his character looks like.
Oh, jeez.
On one of the shows and stuff. And then like he would come out with like a skeleton head with like antlers and stuff glued onto it.
Have you noticed I use antlers sometimes?
You?
Yeah.
In your pictures?
Yeah, there's a few of the major one that actually falls for my logo has a skeleton head blindfolded with antlers and lemons hanging off of it. The antlers pretty much, and this is gonna sound crazy, but this is my theory, even on the Green Man, because he always looks like it's a bunch of leaves. That's your lymphatic nerve system.
Okay.
It goes up the sides of your head, and it looks like antlers across your fucking underneath you. That's why I use it to represent my lymphatic nerve.
Okay.
And I do think like the Green Man, they use leaves. If you start looking at leaves or just even plant life, you can see like a lot of similarity in kind of like how nerves would look.
Yeah, I mean, even like a vein, or not a vein,
is showing your like basically all your nervous systems running through your body.
Okay.
Which, again, I keep on talking about how all these things affect our nervous system. I think in magic, part of it is to render control of your nervous system without any outside things affecting you, and then moving, separating your soul from your body at that point too.
Okay. Now these would be some of the more popular sigils that I've seen.
Yeah,
like this one here.
That's Mercury.
Oh, this one right here is?
No. Sorry, the one that you're out after that.
This one?
Yeah, that's Mercury, and then that circle with the dot, that's the sun. That's a planetary sigil. Yeah. Then there's Mars.
Jeez. So a lot of these are just, and like I would have thought that these were like curses of some sort or like spells, but these are what you were just talking about
like
too.
Olympic spirit. This writing's real.
Okay.
Shit, man. I know it's either the Olympic spirits or I've seen this in Agrippa. That one on his thumb, I'm almost positive. Like I know for a fact, I almost think that is a sigil for some planetary god.
Could that be this?
Do you think those, like, if that shit's that guy? It's interesting that shit's on his hand, because I would just like, you would have to be into the shit to even know what the fuck that was, unless you just happen to be lucky and came across some shit. It was an edgelord. But like I don't know, man. Like that guy, that would make me think this motherfucker's into some real shit.
Well, could it be a play on this? This is
no. The reason why I'm even saying that is that that's even like all right. Like I said earlier, I've seen that in Agrippa's book. Agrippa also even has angelic and like other languages in there. Like there's that's like another thing. Even when it comes to the occult.
Yeah.
There's like even John D. Some people may not want to hear this. He was a Christian. His language he developed for Christians because he thought Christians, the Enochian language was actually designed for Christians to use because he thought they should have their own language. But there is tons of other alphabets and older like symbols and stuff that like, again, that shit on his hands, I think are literally like specific. Like that's actual real shit that I've seen in a book. Okay. And you would have no idea. You just think that's like some crazy, fancy, occult looking shit.
Yeah.
But like that's actually like, I think like legit letters in an occult system on his hand.
Okay. Jeez. And this one, and that wasn't even his hand. That was just a tattoo of a hand. So who knows? Maybe he took that of a picture of something and then just got it.
Whatever that is, like even putting that up there, like.
And then I don't know what this is, the pentagram star tattoo. I feel like the pentagram would be more witchcraft though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is like you can start getting into, I'm actually doing the history of the pentagram. I'm starting to record that now. Nice. You can start getting into when it originally became the pentagram, it actually came out by, the way a lot of us know it. I go before that, but Pythagoras, and there's mathematics involved in the pentagram.
Okay.
So it's just like, yes, maybe flipping it. There's even like the sigil of Lucifer is very close how light reflects inside your eyeball. Very close the way it comes off your lens. So you even have to start wondering about, is these things even showing something with light reflection?
Okay.
Like I have the unicrystal hexagram on my arm, which Giordano Bruno came up with originally, and then Aleister Crowley reused it.
Oh, okay.
Even your eyesight basically reflects off of your your the lens in your eye, and NASA, the Hubble telescope, uses like a universal hexagram design to get the sight, to be able to, you know, all those reflecting is how it, you know, magnifies all that shit, whatever.
No, doesn't this do something like, isn't your eyeball kind of set like this too? You said it crosses in the back,
Yeah.
but what
It
would,
flips over like like you know how you have the as above, so below type of idea? That's happening on your lens, believe it or not.
okay.
Like whatever is like you're seeing is getting then like reflected backwards, like upside down back, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, into the back.
Man. Yeah, like some of these, I was just like, I have no idea. I'm like, might as well ask Nick while he's on. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't trying to. You're like, why are you bringing this crap up? No.
Yeah, it goes off your lens and it starts going up like the sides of your eye to your rods and cones and your ganglion cells, retinal things, and then eventually goes up as like an electrical pulse into your
No,
optic nerve and into your brain.
no, like some of these sigils though that I showed you, these have more of like the connotations of being like demonic in a way, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like what would the difference between like these ones are more well known, probably used for specific things, probably for that sect
Yeah.
in a way, right?
I would say like a difference. And I also think, hold on one second, I'm coughing. I do think context, unfortunately, also still plays a major part. Because like in the story of even like the magician of the hero's journey, you know, there's the death and the rebirth, so the rise, the experience, and then you come back, you know, back to here or whatever. This is the journey. You go out, you have your, you know, the hero's journey, and you come back at the end, you made it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So like you could even, so like I guess what I'm getting at is like depending what you're trying to overall say, or maybe if it's like if you're giving an idea of an experience, you could be using symbolism of, and I'll get to like, you'll see where I'm going with this eventually. Sorry to take it around the world, but
You're
symbolism almost like showing like either the fall of man, or it could be you, the magician, coming back after the experience.
okay.
It all depends on like how you're actually using that. But like where I'm getting at is like, all right, let's say the upside down pentagram, or just certain things that I think that like sometimes get flipped and people will take as satanic or bad. Could be, but it also, again, I guess could be also be representing like the comeback down. But I think that what would make that eventually negative is that you're focusing on coming back to the flesh and not about actually going back up to God. So I could see how like that in itself could be negative but again, that's even part of the cycle for a magician. You're going to have to come back, or you just stay dead, or you just don't come, you know, you go out there and you soul, whatever, I don't know. But, you know, if there's the death and the rebirth, like I'm trying to say, you will open up your eyes again after the experience you had. So there's a coming back to some extent, but again, like the part of the magician is to technically have the experience with the higher realms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So again, like what I'm getting at is like, you know, coming back to earth or earthly things
yes.
is a result of the experience, but also what you're supposed to remove you from to have the experience.
No, that's super interesting, especially because like the idea of almost like you're removing your soul from your flesh.
Yeah.
And then you're experiencing something else, almost like an out of body experience.
Oh yeah, totally.
Whether it can be good or bad, in a way, could that almost be like considered like a trip?
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe sometimes like when people have negative aspects, it might be because maybe they didn't understand what they were doing and fright kicked in. And then,
Yeah.
you know, you kind of start piecing things together, and due to believe it or not, prior concepts, like even for myself, like I'm sure depending, like if I wasn't raised a Christian or a Catholic, and let's say I was raised something else, like maybe some Eastern shit, where not everything's always so horribly bad, you know, or it's like a little bit more whatever. You would look at an experience being less worse than the other one. because one would,
Okay.
what I'm getting at is Christianity would probably demonize or say all those things are bad.
Mhm.
And then another one may be a little bit more not, and that would be that serious. But so your context, your prior ideas that you probably had before you got into this will still be ingrained in your fucking brain to a certain extent, even if you're getting into magic. And that could still have a reaction to how you perceived what happened. I could even throw in real quick to even say with the magician, and it's something that you could easily see just with the way the brain works in psychology. A lot of times they say you got to have intention. Yes, that probably to an extent is good, but when you create the intention of the spell or whatever you're working on, the reason why you're doing it, and you start, even for a ceremonial magician, you're starting, accumulating all these things to you construct a ritual with, you're putting the answer already into a box because your brain is now going to assume that whatever experience you had is going to have to make sense of the belief system you just put onto yourself with the ritual.
Okay.
And that could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? We could be wrong. Something could have happened, or we could experience something, but we put it in the wrong frame, and we're wrong now when we try to decipher the experience because we're already too much with expectation of what the experience was going to be. Expectation is a huge mental mind fuck that humans do for some reason.
Now, was that a very hard thing for you, especially like you said, you grew up Catholic and grew up Christian? Was that something where if you went a certain route, and you experienced something, were you trying to answer it with those answers that you thought you had? And then did you have to rewire yourself in a different way I don't know if I answered or I have said
No, I
correctly.
think I get what you're saying, and I'm looking at it two different ways, and I think you probably only asking one, but I'll answer both.
No, go
If
ahead.
what you're getting at is for me to go from Christianity or Catholicism into the occult, and actually have to try to break a lot of mindsets, believe it or not, for me, it wasn't too hard. There was just certain things that I think I would just be a little bit open-minded to when I think it's when people, this is very much even, I'll just use AA for anybody who might understand this. You'll have the big book, and then you'll have all these phrases that are said at the meeting that's not in the big book. Those are just what other alcoholics or, I don't know, people that are sober came up with that sound good, that may work, but it's actually not in the Bible.
Okay.
If you even ditch a lot of that, you start getting a lot of Christian stigma that just fucking ones that just practically fascists came up with their own conclusions of what that book says and enforces on everybody else. But if you get rid of that, I'm going to keep it real when it comes to Christianity and Catholicism. It is deeply fucking occulted already. It is very ritualistic. So it was easy for me to transfer over to ceremonial magic because there was a lot of that. If I was still friends with my ex-wife and she came on the show, she could even tell you, and she used to always bust my chops. She's like, it looks like you got a Catholic church set up in the fucking living room, not some witchcraft.
Oh, okay.
It legit. She's like, she used to she came up with some phrase that was a joke on church. Whenever I would go do my rituals, she'd make some church fucking joke or whatever. Cause she even I even used the wafers from a Catholic church. I did Eucharist shit all the time where I called in God and took that in and asked him, to change me or, help me with an issue. So, I mean, and that's huge. Eucharist is huge with ceremonial magicians.
Yeah.
So it's just it really is not, I mean, even with the baptism, man, if you really look at what's going on with that, you're doing a ritual in order to get into the church. Before it started getting a little bit more popular and it changed, you got naked in front of people before you walked in the water or got put in the water, and then you got new clothes. So I'm just, because I've admitted the OTO, and I'm not churching up what the OTO does in one of their initiations. You have to get naked. Yes, I do think it's fucking weird. But technically, the Catholic Church or the Christian Church did the same exact shit to people to make them join.
Almost
People like want to forget about that whole shit that you had to actually get naked and dunked in water. Think
Yeah.
about that.
And it's almost like that, I feel like, is more turned
And a
into
lot of it was
humiliation.
publicized.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, if you think about it, that's in a way and in a sense, if you're nervous about being naked in front of somebody and then you're doing that in front of everybody, that could almost be like a humiliation ritual in itself. So it's like, I don't know. That's
It
very
eventually
interesting.
changed, especially once it started to become a much more of a Christian thing. But
Yeah.
even then, when they changed it, they threw in like so much other shit that it was just like you had these images to mind fuck you to make you think that you were really doing something so amazing.
Mm.
Like it's I don't want to get into the whole thing and get off track, but like
No, you're good.
just certain things with churches, man.
Yeah.
The way that I even have a and I'm not doing it to discredit it. Some people have made comments recently thinking they have problems with Christianity and Catholicism, or especially Christianity. I don't. I think it's upsetting to see where Christians are going from where they were.
Hmm.
I think that they are much more powerful people. They come from a much more intelligent group of people who are not fearful and were gangsters when it came to having experiences with God. And somehow they have just become so scared that they think everything's dicks and demons.
Mm.
But even their churches, man, I have an 18-part series. That shit is straight up ritual technology. Like that is it. The way churches and especially the way Christian ones work, man, they are attacking your nervous system in every fucking way possible. Every way possible. Even with you put shit behind screens that automatically mind fucks your brain into thinking that's special.
Yeah.
When you can't go to a certain part of the church because that's only for this group of people, a bishop or this and that automatically starts creating shit in your head, believe it or not.
Oh, definitely. It's like the veil.
Why do you think you walk into a church and automatically you shut the fuck up and get quiet?
Hmm.
It hits you, man. And it's built like that on purpose.
Yeah. And it's weird too, because it's like there's so many different, in a way, like denominations and stuff like that too, which are totally different with certain things, but they have their own rituals and everything too. Like I've gone to Catholic
religions do it too. Like mosques have their own. Believe it or not, those things were back in the day are built in certain ways, so the people in the back heard it just as if they were up front. The acoustics, all that shit.
Yes.
The archaeology stuff that I've even covered, religious places, the shit they did with the archaeology, you can't even tell me they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. The way they were doing shit with acoustics, making shit reverberate only in certain tones.
Yes.
So you had to do you actually had to do a chant. You couldn't be talking. If you're talking, wouldn't hear shit, wouldn't do anything different. You did a certain Gregorian chant at a certain level, all of a sudden it reverberates for 12 fucking seconds and starts actually like making the whole sound now different.
Yeah. And you get that different vibration.
Yeah. Columns that are carved in or has like bevels out will make the reverberation in their change.
Wow. That's
and it's like we almost knew that with the way you see some of them are set up to like work so perfectly. It's like, come on. Like come on. There's too many coincidences. This took planning.
Oh, for sure. And it's like nothing's built that way anymore. Everything's all built to be cheap.
No. Well, the high tech, believe it or not, I've even covered, and I'm getting to that more. That has taken over for a lot of shit, believe it or not, with the phones and TVs and radios and shit with certain stuff. But yeah. There is a lot that's missing that I think that is probably because there's really something behind it that could be positive for sure. That gets lost. Like even with like the stained glass. I mean, that shit will affect you. But I mean, you could use that in a good way to make you feel good.
Definitely. And anything can be used in a good way or a bad way, depending on how it's perceived, I'm sure too.
Yeah, like even certain colors can affect people in certain ways, supposedly help healing.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that, shit. Again, science. I do think there was, what I'm getting at with the churches is like literally technology, like science, Christian ritual technology and that shit. And, and I'm not saying it's in a negative sense. These people, they had to have been geniuses to understand what the fuck they were doing.
Oh, 100%.
Like that's actually inspiring to me.
I almost
I
feel like
wish we could get humanity back to understanding that shit.
no, definitely. And like, do you think that what do you okay, I have two other questions specifically. You mentioned John D, but when
Yeah.
you said that, I was thinking of John Todd. You ever heard of him?
That sounds familiar. I could
He
be
was
some
like a high
John.
what would he be considered? I think he was supposedly came from the occult, but I think he was raised by like witches. And like I think his mom and his aunt and his grandma were all witches and doing some sort of crazy uh uh what would you call it? Oh my gosh.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find this guy.
Ritual. They would be doing like some crazy rituals and stuff like that. Well, he ended up escaping it. And like I think he might have became a Christian or he might have just been talking out against it. Like this is
Oh,
what I
did he
want.
say they mentioned the Abramelin?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you. Did he mention the Abramelin?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. You said he did a certain ritual and then like didn't.
No,
whatever.
no, no. He was explaining like they would do all these rituals. He ended
Oh.
up escaping it later, but he has said like I think you could watch his videos. You used to be able to watch them on YouTube, but they're all gone now. I think you have to watch them on BitChute. Um, but it's all audio. I think he's from the 70s and he ended up getting, I think, arrested later. I can't really remember. My cousin told me a lot about him. But he ended up getting arrested and I think he got killed in prison. And they think that it might have been the people that he escaped ended up contacting him somehow.
Yeah, I just found him. Yeah, he was I mean,
He's got like long hair.
BT who he was. So I mean, like, listen, it's gonna it'll probably frame it in a certain way, knowing like stuff the way I look at shit. But it did say he was kind of part of the he was not a reliable teacher, but a major source for Christian satanic panic and Illuminati conspiracy material. But they said his basic pitch was a witches, Satanists, Freemasons, the Illuminati, and he did claim that he was from he was a high-ranking occultist witch and Illuminati insider before converting to Christianity.
Yeah. And it's weird too. Like I heard I didn't know I think I was born after the satanic panic or at the end of it. But people think it was like just a decade. They think it was just the 80s, but it lasted for 30 years, I think. I think from like the 60s to the 90s or the 70s to the 90s. I can't remember, but it was actually like multiple decades, not just one.
Yeah.
But I think I think it got more popular and stuff, probably with the
80s and 90s, I think.
Yeah, when they started getting those serial killers that would be doing random things, like there was the dude.
Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I think there was a dude in LA or San Francisco, something Ramirez. He was
yeah. We had the fucking shit on his hand.
Yeah, the Night Stalker or something.
Yeah. Yo, he was a sick. Fuck that dude.
And I mean, that's what happens. You get these crazy people that do certain things, and then you're like, oh man, you got to be careful.
Like him. You know what the problem is? Like, I would say, like, he probably thought he was into something.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, he was probably LARPing. And, like, he didn't even realize it. Like, the motherfucker was just, like, a fucking edgelord LARPer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, probably, like, knew the pentagram. Probably didn't even actually really know any rituals. And just, like, would draw one on the floor and say some fucking outrageous shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or he was just being edgy. But, like, yeah, like, sometimes people like that, I think, is like, unfortunately, it's like, yo, that is like the worst representation.
Yeah.
That person's probably just a fucking fake in general.
Or just a crazy person in general.
Yeah.
And then they link them.
Well, okay, yeah. They're a crazy person who thinks like they may real legitly think that they're doing something, but it's just like, no, they're just fucking, you're out.
And
there.
honestly, for the longest time, I always thought like the occult, Satanists, Luciferians, witches, like I thought they were all the same.
No,
and it's like I'm realizing that they're not.
They'll get upset.
No, exactly. But if you looked at like the Church of Satan, that became a political thing. And they utilize that as more of a political thing of being anti-religion. They became anti-God or they might have just been atheists in general. They wanted the opposite of whatever Christians were pushing or Catholics were pushing. But I wanted to ask you too, like if all right, if you have people that can do talismans and sigils for good and benefit, do you think that they could utilize them for curses as well?
Oh yeah.
I mean, have you ever experienced that? Like, do you ever feel like anybody did anything like that towards you?
I don't like, all right. This is just me being, I would hope any magician would really just think of just throwing it out regardless and not take the chance, being precautionary. But so, in case this happens to get heard by somebody, don't take it too personal. But when I got kicked out of the OTO, the dude who kicked me out sent me a letter. And when he signed it, he did sign like a sigil on there. And it's kind of like his mark.
Okay, like a signature almost.
Yeah, but like I just, obviously I was, maybe I could have kept it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to keep it. But no, literally because that shit was, it was done in pencil. So like I knew it wasn't even like pre-done on the paper. Like that dude drew that shit, hand drew it. It's like, oh, you think I'm going to keep this motherfucker? Oh, fuck no.
Oh, okay. Right away. Dang. Because I've seen one where there was like a street preacher talking, and he was talking to this woman, and this bag lady came up behind him. Like she looked like she was homeless. She looked all decrepit and stuff. And she walked up and she had like this piece of paper and she put it right in his hood and walked away. And the person that he was talking to, like, was like, what the heck? Like, even in the camera, like she made eye contact with the lady and the lady walked off. She didn't say anything to the guy or nothing. She reached, and the person that he was talking to reached over into his hood and took it out and threw it on the ground and just stepped on it. And he was like, did she just put that on me? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, and it's so crazy to me that no matter what kind of message you're trying to put out, but if I feel like if you're trying to just be positive with people, there's always going to be negative people trying to bring you down no matter what. Yeah, it's not that it has to be a curse, but it could have been just a ritual thing for her in her own head that I'm going to get this guy, even if she's not there to watch it happen in fruition, or if anything would have happened. It's just the idea that the camera caught it, somebody else caught it while he wasn't even recognizing it. And it was just like a weird thing to see it from that perspective. I've never seen anything like that before. I don't think anything's ever happened to me, but I would hope nothing's ever happened to me. But I'm not worried at the same sense in a way too, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, let's see. Yeah. I mean, the odds of that happening probably to somebody is slim.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you got to, like, honestly, I'd be more worried about the TV and your cell phone.
Like transmitting?
Yeah, that or just like images that, I mean, propaganda, I'm pretty sure a lot of that's being, some of that's got occult fingers in it.
Oh, for sure. No, definitely, man.
It's like you could do that like with so many different ways, certain colors to spark certain feelings, certain music with the reels now, certain imagery. I mean, you could really, you could really like you could start pushing like group think or push emotions. Easily.
You know what I noticed too is if you ever created music with AI, have you ever heard of somebody like there's videos of it too where you watch a video and they go, did you hear this? And you're like, I think so. And then they play it again and they go, you heard it, right? You heard it, right? You heard it, right? You listened to it 3 times. Then they go, this is what it actually says. And they have the text come up as it says it. Then you subconsciously re-hear it in that text. And you're like, wait a minute. Like did they just rewire my brain to hear it in a specific way? And I honestly think with AI, if you create music with it, I've done it a bunch of times where I've created a song and I'm listening to it without reading the lyrics. And I'm like, that sounds off. And I'm listening to it over and over again. And then I read the lyrics with it and then I can understand it. But if you listen to it without reading the lyrics, you're trying to put together, you're like, I can't understand or comprehend what this is saying. But then every time you hear that song after you read the lyrics once, you know exactly what it says at that part.
Yeah, because now your brain just fixed it all. And originally it sounded like something else because I had to give you an answer.
Yes. And
You
I
made
think
it up.
that's what I think AI is. I think it's frequencies that we cannot comprehend until you actually read along with it once. Or if you're making the song, you have an idea which direction it's going. But you could play it multiple and have it recreated multiple times so it sounds differently at each point. Sometimes certain words will sound completely off or completely different, but because of the first 7 times you heard that song in different versions, this version says it wrong in a certain point, but you could still put it together. Where like if I let you listen to a song, you'd be like, "Oh, that sounded weird. Why is that there?" But then if I gave you the lyrics and you read it, you'd be like, "Oh, that makes sense now, and now I hear it this way."
Yeah. I think
Sorry.
no, because I'm thinking, I'm like, fuck, I wish I knew the name so I could sound smart. But I'm pretty sure there's actually like there's a word for that whole like thing right there. That like
Yes.
you hear something and it's wrong, but it's just like your brain fills in the gaps again.
It's not an earworm, is it?
Might be that. I've
'Cause I
just come
think
across that recently. The whole
yeah.
earworm thing.
And an earworm might be something where, like, you hear it and then you hear it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, that might be something too where, like, you
That's right.
hear
I
the
got one.
song, but and now it's in your head. You're like, "I can't get this song out of my head." That might be an earworm too, but, yeah, man, if, is it cool if we play some trivia real quick? Or do you have any questions for me at all? Like, I'm whatever
No,
works for you.
good. No,
All right.
no, good, man. Let's go.
You're like, "You're holding me up." No.
No. Actually, you know what? If you don't mind, can I go pee real quick?
No,
hate
dude,
to
that's
do this
totally
to you.
fine. I have to
Oh,
pee
I'm
too,
so
if that's
sorry.
okay.
All right, yeah. I'm so sorry. Now you got to edit. My bad. I'll be right back.
No, you're fine. I'll pause it. All right. We just started recording again. All right. And then I was going to ask you about your Instagram picture.
Oh.
I couldn't tell what that was. Is that the one that you were talking about with is this the one you were talking about with the antlers?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Go to like the podcast itself.
The YouTube one?
No, the audio, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the circular shit, it fucks up the image, so I don't even use it. Yeah, should be up there somewhere.
Like Spotify?
Yeah.
Of course, it's not loading. Oh, what in the world?
Yeah, click on the Occult Rejects, the little thing right underneath the episode.
Oh, okay. I have seen this. I was thinking the Instagram one. Yeah, I think I was thinking of like this one here.
No, yeah. It's different.
Okay. Oh, what in the world? Oh, there we go. All right, cool. I'll stop sharing that real fast. Okay. And then I was gonna ask you something else, and that was it, I think. Oh, you want to play some trivia real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you had trivia. Let's do it, man.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I got 5 questions for you, okay?
Oh shit.
And those people that are at home playing along, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, subscribe, and post your answers in the comments. And if you get more than everybody else right, I will send you a mug. Just DM me your address and I'll hook you up with a what's in your cup with stuff in it. Just tell me the color you want and which design. We got G.I. Joe, we got Street Fighter, we got Ninja Turtles, and then we have the Jurassic Bigfoot. So let us know which 2 designs you want. I'll hook you up. I'll fill it up with a bunch of random crap, and then you could post hashtag what's in your cup and tell people what came in it, and then hopefully more people want one. So but I have 5 different topics. There's schemes, random, tech, alien, and mythos and legends. But right now I just have mythos, tech, random, and schemes. So we'll go with mythos first.
Oh,
And
right. Oh,
this is the conspiracy theory trivia game.
oh,
So, all right. So what was released when the Japanese Killing Stone was split in two? A, the Yu-Gi-Oh! B, the Nine-Tailed Fox. C, the Momotaro. Or D, K-pop. And I could read it again and give you
no,
questions.
yeah, I don't even know what the fuck that thing is.
Dude, no worries.
Number
I
one.
don't either. What's that?
I think it's number 1 and number 2, but number 1.
Okay. The Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
It was the Nine-Tailed Fox, which was B. And
Mhm.
honestly, the only person that's ever done really good on this game is James from Plunderworld. I think he got 4 out of 5.
Oh,
That's better than any of us.
Nice.
So, and he was guessing a lot of them, but a lot of them were also his type of conspiracies, which were like projects and operations. So he did good on those.
Shit.
All right. This next topic is tech. The movie is thought to be soft disclosure that we are living on an enclosed flat Earth. A, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. B, The Matrix. C, The Truman Show. Or D, The 13th Floor.
I think it's a Truman Show, right?
You are correct. C, The Truman
You
Show.
said the other ones didn't really specify a dome.
All right. This next one is tech. Elon Musk claims there is a 1 in a billion chance of what? A, AI won't destroy humans. B, SpaceX will reach Mars. C, the Earth is flat. Or D, we are not in a simulation.
Huh. What was it again? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Elon Musk claims there is a 1 in a billion chance of what? A, AI won't destroy humans. B, SpaceX will reach Mars. C, the Earth is flat. Or D, we are not in a simulation.
I'm gonna go with A.
AI won't destroy humans. It was D, we are not in a simulation.
All right, damn.
Dude, I'm learning all these as we go too. Like, don't even worry. I'm answering these the exact same as you, and I'm like, oh, dang it. Nah. All right. This one is random. Starting in November 2020, what mysterious structures began appearing in countries around the world? A, blue phone booths. B, stone arches. C, monoliths.
C.
Or D, tiny houses.
C.
Yes, you are correct.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, me too. I think it was one in like the Grand Canyon or something crazy.
There's a few of them. Like one was black, and a few of them looked like they made out of like aluminum or some shit.
Made out of my hat. All right. This last one is schemes. What underground organization sneaks around Paris, secretly restoring places of historic value? A, Urban Experiment. B, Art Unlimited. C, the Paris Preservers. Or D, the Legacy Squad.
Oh,
I would have had
read
no
the
clue.
answers again.
A, Urban Experiment. B, Art Unlimited. C, the Paris Preservers. Or D, the Legacy Squad. In each one in parentheses, it has like the initials of each one. So like A, UX, B, AUL, C, PP, D, D, TLS.
Maybe it sounds cheesy, but the Paris Preserves or whatever.
It was A, Urban Experiment.
Yeah, fuck, I should know what that
Dude, I have no idea what those are. And if you guys want to,
Oh shit.
scan the little QR code, and then all of a sudden it will take you to a website that spreads all of our misinformation. So you guys can go do that. And then last segment we got is the Thought for the Day by TBD. Teddy Dynamite always does a thought for the day for us. I just have to find his messages. He always posts one every day and tags me in it. All right. Let's see. Thought for the day: the 3 C's in life: choice, chance, change. You must make the choice to take the chance if you want anything to change. Yeah. So,
It's pretty well said and pretty deep.
oh, thanks, man. Well, that was all TBD. That wasn't me.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that's actually, I mean, that's right on with that for real.
No, sure. And then, Nick, is there anybody that you want to shout out or anything like that at all either?
We just saw that the other people on the Occult Rejects. We got Magus in the media. We got
Are they all on Instagram?
Yeah. Oh, this could be a lot of people, so I don't expect you to go find them.
Oh, okay.
If you want, I can send them to you after the fact. But yeah, Magus in the media, Eros up, Jin the Ninja, Robbie Marks, Ethan Indigo, Judith, the Loon, Jules. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I might be. Oh, Sanray. Yeah, Sanray is part of the team now too.
That's
Eric Acadian. Yeah, that's what I said. I got probably like 10 people, man.
Now, you originally started off as something else.
Kaiva
right?
too. Sorry, how the fuck did I forget her? Sorry, Kaiva too. That's Magus's girl, but like she's really good. Like what the fuck she does.
That's awesome.
She's amazing for astrology. If you're ever looking for somebody for astrology,
that's sick. And then I did have one more question. Like before you started as the Occult Rejects, you were something else, right?
Yeah, I did have the NY Patriot show.
Okay.
Yes, and that was like more of me. I mean, there's really not much. Well, then I was using that just solely as guests. I would only have guests on. And then with the Occult Rejects, that was me and a guy named Lux originally, where we would cover topics together.
Okay.
It was a lot more, way more conspiratorial, or even for me, and that was even an issue between both of us. A lot of it was too much of just always like shock value shit and just like pointing the finger at a bad guy. And I was like, we're really not getting to like what we both kind of even said, that like, there is shit we could show with magic and the positive stuff and how to understand it. I was like, we're not getting to that. We just keep uncovering different fucking Freemasonic inner orders with you, man. Like,
that's too funny.
I get it, yeah, I get it. But can we, do something a little bit more? But it was a little bit more based like that. And then eventually after he left, it slowly changed. And, I've gone through so many things. I mean, I've covered true crime at some point here and there with occultism, paranormal. But it's like right now, it's really just purely covering occult stuff. Either I get guests or I have I cover stuff on my own. That's like very much more deep.
Cool, man. No, dude, that's sick, man. And honestly, like I appreciate you so much for even giving me the time to like hang out and stuff too. Like I've been in the group chats, or I've been in the like watch the podcast live and been in the comments, or like been a part of like these round tables and stuff. But to finally have you one-on-one, man, this is awesome. And I'm glad I was able to come up. I had all these questions set up. I was like, oh, finally, I could be the interviewer and only one-on-one.
It was great. That was really good too, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I had a great time. That was great.
Thank you so much,
show.
man.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, maybe in the future we could get a couple of us on the show too. We'll give you
100%.
God, you'd probably run, you'd never run out of questions then. and to be totally honest with you, and some people are like, how the fuck do you, because there is times where I've had like 8 to 10 people on the screen. Especially now, sometimes we cover topics together. We will have like probably 7, 8 people there. Nobody, like, it goes so fucking smooth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't turn into a shit show. People aren't talking over each other. So for people who might be hearing that and never heard the show and be like, oh, it's probably a fuck show. Believe it or not, it's very, considering it's very kind of professionally done to an extent.
Yeah. It's not freaking Pierce Morgan with 20 people arguing on cutting people off the entire time. You take turns and you're like, let everybody kind of have. I wish I heard Judith Loon talk a little bit more. I do like Judith. There's some shows though where she does, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, because she, believe it again, like I said before, I knew her from the OTO. I mean, she's into Wicca and witchcraft. She knows ceremonial magic. She knows Wicca. She knows a lot. So like, I really, sometimes I really wish she would talk a little bit more, because she actually knows
it's impressive to me.
Yeah.
She knows a decent amount.
That's one thing I kind of wish I would have talked to you about a little bit too, just to pick your brain on it, was like voodoo or something, like, or what your thoughts on different sects of that, you know?
Oh yeah, well, if I come back, we can definitely talk on certain
Definitely,
specific,
dude.
because especially even if I bring other people from the show, there's people who are more in, like, believe it or not, Jin, even though he's Asian, he's really good with the whole voodoo and hoodoo shit. Judith's really good with that. So yeah, it's just like everybody on the show kind of has their own expertise that everybody else lacks.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. You guys all can tie in and like pick each other's brain on everything too.
Which I think is a lot of reasons why there isn't not a lot of interrupting, because I do honestly think a lot of times when people say stuff, if they're being specific to their background, you're not going to have somebody like running over it trying to finish your sentence because they may not really know it too well and they're actually listening. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
no, 100%.
They're trying to already jump in because they're like, oh shit, I didn't know that either.
Yes.
They're learning just as much as the listeners are, believe it or not.
Oh, definitely. Like there's times where I'm like, what? When's Nick going to say something? I'm like,
oh, no, thanks. Yeah, no,
you're the whole show.
That's one of the reasons why I started doing solos. Believe it or not, I have had that said from friends and, listeners that at times, and I have busted down. At times, I also do make the shows a lot smaller because of that fact. I have had people even say to me, like, we would like to hear you talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, part of why we listen to the show. But yeah, sometimes that does happen, especially sometimes with guests. I could get a big guest on and everybody wants to come on, and I want to hook everybody up with being able to meet the person. They might be able to get them on their show. Sometimes when I do that, it's like I had a guy on for 2 hours this last time. It was a big name. I got 4 fucking questions in, man. I was like, yo, that sucked. And like 2 of them were basic ones, like right at the beginning that I would ask anybody. So I was like, I really accomplished nothing that I had in my head for the show. It still went well, but I was just like, fuck, like, yo, like, how did my co-host get to ask this guy more shit than I did?
That's too funny. Now, do you have this will be my last question, I promise.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific episode or show that you were a guest on that you were like, that was awesome? Like, I highly recommend anybody go check out this episode if you want to know a little bit more about, like, instead of the intro to the occult or the occult for dummies, like this is more of like a basic show. You gave a lot of information. This wasn't basic by any means, but if you were like, hey, you definitely got to go check out this episode I did with so-and-so, like definitely give them a shout out or give them a plug or push your stuff, or who you had as a guest too.
Yeah, oh, well, all right. With me, which shows, believe it or not, I would say that Catalyst Jones show that I was just on recently, the Trinity of Truth, I thought that was very well done. I had a really good time on there. And Trebles, he will normally have me on for topics that other people may not entertain too quickly. He's like, I'm going on a show tomorrow. He's very good with like, just let me go and nerd out on something that may not necessarily be clickbait by the title, but it's actually pretty fucking deep, and he gets into the shit. He lets me go. I truly enjoy being able to be a guest on his show, is because he lets me run with my shit when I get on there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love all these guys.
Anybody go to Troubles, go to his show and listen to any show I've been on there, and you'll get some decent shit.
Yeah, and
or
I
just
heard
even
that,
solo stuff. But yeah, for another show, for sure.
Definitely, man. Yeah, and I saw the Catalyst was like, White Rabbit, the last episode is July 17th. I was like, I'm like, what? That was some big news.
Right. Yeah, I was surprised.
I was like, oh my gosh, you just dropped a big bombshell right at the end of the episode. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I was like, how I was on a phone call with a girl that I dated for forever ago, and it was like the conversation went really good, and then right at the end, it was like, hey, I don't think this is gonna work out now. Just hung up. I was like,
really think about it. I mean, I didn't keep the NY Patriot as long, but I had it for like, I think the first 2 years of podcasting. And that was kind of my solo show where I had guests on. I dropped that and just stayed with the Occult Rejects. Man. So, I mean, I kind of get how like he might have just thought it was like, but still, I was surprised when he said that. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because he's been around as long as I have. Almost. Very close. Yeah. Like I've known him as long as I've been podcasting.
That's crazy.
Like
That's
awesome. There was even shows he was talking about prior. I think before we went live, just talking about shows that dropped off and that I just haven't kept in touch with in a long time. Wow. I was like, holy fuck? I didn't know all these shows don't do anything
man.
anymore that like we all knew from back in the day. I was like, and like, I almost wanted to say like, but like, yo, even statistically, that's what happens. I mean, first off, most podcasts don't even get past a year.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, it's just like, if these are people like, even for yourself, man, stick around for a minute. If you actually really love doing what you're doing, stick around for a minute. A lot of these shows, they die off after a while. Sometimes they're only purely in it for the money, and when the money gets dry, they quit. So stick around. When the oldest shows start dying off, the listeners are going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. It's good advice.
If you love doing what you're doing, just keep fucking doing it. That will show.
Oh, for sure. And if you got merch too, do you got any merch? Like, can I go to
yeah, I don't push it that much. I do have t-shirts. It's on the Occult Research Institute.org. It's under a tab for merch. It's 2 t-shirts. I have 2 t-shirts that are available. They're $25 shipped. That's with shipping. Okay. And there's extra large, and medium. And there's two of them. There's the Silent Rainbow, and then there's the seashell chick looking one.
Okay.
So like, I guess a chick could wear one and a dude could wear another 2.
Well, I'm definitely getting the Silent Rainbow one. It's already in the video game.
Thanks. Yeah. Good.
Cool, Nick. Hey, dude, thank you so much again for jumping on, bro. I can't even begin to explain how much like it means to me. Take the time to spend your time with me and hang out and stuff. I really
for sure, dude, for sure. I really hope like I said, I'll definitely like to come back. And I said, I'll bring other people too. I had a blast.
Oh, 100%, man.
And sometimes you know what it is. The best, I don't sound shitty, but sometimes the best hosts are the ones that actually like understand they don't know anything and do like, they think I ask dumb questions. It's like, no, you actually asked questions that are really good to let me keep going.
Yeah.
Believe me, like sometimes you're just better off with a guest who doesn't think it's their show. You're fine, my man. I really truly enjoyed the show. Thank you.
Sounds good, man. Well, hey guys, you guys listen to the SpeakInCOAD podcast. I'm Code, Conspiracy of a Dead Man, sitting to my right or left, where he's mirrored probably, so probably my left. We got Nick from the Occult Rejects. Stay safe, stay blessed, and keep on questioning. We out. Deuce.